Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
I didn't know I was on mute. Sorry about that. I hit the button. It didn't unmute me. Huh. I literally hit the button. I remember. But anyway, don't tell her, me Squeaky said. I wasn't saying much other than good morning and that it's really beautiful here today. And I hope that it's beautiful wherever you guys are. We may actually go outside at some point while we're watching the court proceedings because they may last all day and just to soak up a little bit of sun. And another thing, they're going to expect our pool tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. So welcome in, everybody. If this is your first time here, my name is Tanya, or TitaniumBuilt. We do talk all things true crime on this channel. And at the end of our lives, we talk a little bit about anything that we want to, if we decide to do that. But if that's something you're into, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I think we're like 9 subscribers away from hitting 20,000. So, and it might be less than that now. So I'll have to check the live count. But it's exciting. So let me say hi to some of you guys. We have 9 minutes until the court proceedings start. So I figured I'll say hello to y'all. We can go over kind of what the court proceedings are going to entail, and then we'll listen in on what they're talking about. Now they're going to be going over a lot of like evidence and stuff like that. What's going to be admissible, like what's going to be able to be brought into court and what's not. And I'm here to listen for all that. So I'm hoping they talk a lot about the evidence, and we learned some new things today. So, but we usually do. Hello, Ladybug. How are you doing today? Hey, Mermaid. Welcome in. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Willows. Hey, Squeaky. It was good to see a bunch of you guys in here. I was like, oh, look at that. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Real. Welcome in, everybody. Catherine's here. Hopefully you're doing well, Catherine. It's exciting to see all you guys. You guys were just chatting away. I love it. I love it so much. Old Squeaky. Hello, Nicole. Aw. See, oh, you're on third shift. Aw. My dad used to work third shift. It was terrible. He hated it. He went from first shift to third shift because he thought he wanted to work nights. And then he was like, I don't want to work nights. Hey, DM. Hey, Mia Worry. I think I would be good at a job third shift because that's when I wake up. After our lives, I feel like I'm more awake than I am before. Hey, Shells. Hey, Felicia. I think it's because we talk on the live. So, like, I'm talking so much, it just makes me, I don't know. Proud Mimi, welcome in. Baby girl, welcome in. Lenora, welcome in. Hey, Lord Mama. Proud Mimi's been a member for 7 months. Oh, I love that. I love that. I think I'm going to try to make some emojis today. We got a bunch of new members last night. We got a ton of new members last night. So we have more emoji options. And I've been wanting Vincent to do it, but I think he forgets because, he works. He works. So I'm going to try to do it today. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to ask him because it has to be like a certain size. And that's all I need to know, and then I could put the image in there. So Tempest, welcome in. And then everybody was saying that I was muted. And thanks, really Morbid Bear. That's crazy too. It's funny because I checked my sound and my camera and everything before I came on the live. Hey, Mandy Joe, welcome in. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but if I did, just holler at me. I'm still going through. Hey, Dawn. Okay, I think I got everybody. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see y'all. I'm going to show you guys an article first. So last night we went over the document that came out. It was just the amended order governing courtroom conduct. And they basically just went in and said, they're allowing, note taking and things like that, but you can't be loud. I believe they said live tweeting's allowed, but nothing on a keyboard to where if you're on a keyboard, make sure it's not loud. And then they said that, I'm trying to think now, I'm looking right at the document. They had the seating for the victims' families. They went over the counsel and other court personnel. So like the victims' families, for obviously the victims, and then Bryan Kohberger's family members, then they went over the public seating and entry to and from, the courtroom. You cannot go out of the courtroom and come back in. No re-entry is allowed. Security screening will happen if you're carrying like a bag, purse, briefcase, book bag, something like that. And then no interviews or reporting like outside the steps. Like if you are reporting outside the steps, make sure that you're not distracting other people from being able to come in to the courthouse, pretty much is what they said. They said just any disruptive behavior will result in, you being kicked out, pretty much. But the courtrooms, though, it's like, ooh, look at this, members coming in. Hey, welcome in. Thank you for becoming a member, Nicole. And Lord Mom has been a member for 7 months. I noticed that, but I thought it was cute. Lord Mama 7 months said, remember for 7 months, had message added and like my super chat last night. And Shells has been a member for a month. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's put this up here because this will help me. I'm going to read over this. So this is going to give us a little more insight on what's going to happen today. And if you missed our live last night, this will help you also because last night on our live we went over what was going to happen today as well. So, but Bryan Kohberger, the former criminology student, accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in November 2022, is set to appear in court today. And what might be his last pretrial hearing before the start of his much anticipated trial. I'm ready for that trial. Kohberger, 30, faces 4 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncavles, Xana Kernoodle, and Ethan Chapin, who were fatally stabbed at an off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho, in the overnight hours of November 13th, 2022. Kohberger was arrested in the killings over a month later in his home state of Pennsylvania. A not guilty plea was entered on his behalf in May of 2023. We're in 2020, May of 2025. So 2 years ago, that's how long ago it was when Judge John Judge put in his plea for him. That's insanity to me. The jury selection is scheduled to begin in late July, with the trial slated to start August 11th. If convicted, Kohberger could face the death penalty. The lurid case has riveted the public and has already been featured in multiple true crime documentaries. Still, prosecutors have not outlined his potential motive, and a sweeping gag order has kept the parties from speaking publicly, making each pretrial hearing an opportunity to quench the public's thirst to learn more details. Recent pretrial hearings have touched on the admissibility of key pieces of evidence, including Kohberger's autism diagnosis, DNA analysis, his Amazon purchase history, and a witness description of the suspect's bushy eyebrows. For one, the defense has requested to tell the jury Kohberger has autism spectrum disorder, a condition they say will explain what might be a perceived as odd behavior as he sits at the defense table. However, Judge Stephen Hippler denied the request, saying it was not relevant unless he testifies. Kohberger's attorneys have reportedly said it's unlikely he'll take the stand in his own defense because of his diagnosis. Because the diagnosis, my butt. In another ruling, the judge said prosecutors can call an expert witness to testify about Amazon data they say reveals Kohberger bought a knife, sheath, and sharpener made by the same company as the knife she found at the crime scene. The possibility of the death penalty hangs over the case. If he is convicted of capital murder, Kohberger could face a penalty phase in which the jury will consider further evidence and decide whether he is sentenced to death or a lesser punishment, life in prison. And I think we all know how we got here. So I'm going to see if they are. I wonder if Judge Hippler's like on time. I can't remember. They usually aren't, though. Oh, and if you guys hear some like noises, like some like maybe like something hitting the wall, our neighbors are moving. I'm going to miss them. Hey, Wolfie. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I use heatless curlers and I love them so very much. It's like my favorite thing to do in the morning is take my hair down. Hey, Ashley. Because it's like, will it look good or will it not look good? So will his parents be there? Catherine, that's a good question. I don't think so because it's getting so close to the trial. I mean, they might have flew out. But I think that since, it's his last, court hearing, they'll probably just wait till trial to come out, I would think. Because the trial is going to be 3 months, they're saying. We're going to be together for a long time. So get comfy, get a snack. Well, thank you, Wolfie. I appreciate that so much. Autism is not relevant when a majority of the serial killers have it. Yeah, right? And also people that, there's a ton of people that have autism that don't go out and murder people. Right here, I'm one of them, I was diagnosed this last year. Yeah. So in the beginning, maybe of last year, the mid-year or something like that, they were diagnosing me. It takes a lot to be diagnosed too. And I've never hurt nobody. Like I wouldn't hurt a fly either, Ashley. Maybe a fly. Definitely a spider. Definitely a spider. But yeah, I was just like, it's just crazy to me. Let me see. Is he on? Oh, wait, let me see. Oh, it was like spinning, so I thought maybe it was on. Me too, Ashley. Remember with the this is off topic, but remember a few weeks ago, my crown was loose and then I had to go up there to the dentist. Well, she got it back in there and everything, but I feel like it's coming loose again. Like when I touch it, it doesn't feel loose, but when I'm talking, it feels like it moves or something. I don't know how to explain it. So I'm going to have to go back up there, I think, but they said that tooth may just be it might reject it or something, be rejecting it. And then they're going to have to put an implant in there. And I can't leave the dentist without my front teeth. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of like, not like stressed, but I'm a little nervous about it because I just don't like, I don't want that. I mean, it's a crown. Just leave it in there. Why can't it just be in there? Like, why can't we just have a good time, right? And I ate steak last night. I'm wondering if that was it. Like that made it move. I don't know, but if you have any pointers, let me know. Because I'm going to text Emily. She's my new dentist. I'm going to have to tell her, like, hey, I need you. I'm more like, I need you. Sweetly morbid bears that I have a hard time hurting spiders. I don't, I'm scared of them. The one thing, the bug that I'm scared of the most is those stink bugs. Oh my God. Because they like suction onto you. I heard that they like fly and they just suction onto you. And like, oh, I hate stink bugs. We have like our back balcony. Sorry, balcony is like behind us. It looks like it's like a bunch of trees. So it almost looks like a little woodsy area, right? And that's where they come from. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to like leave it on the other side. It's like that was just like such a strange, thing. The last time that happened was I took a bite of an apple. I hadn't taken a bite out of an apple in like 15 years. And Vincent was eating an apple like just like regular person, not cutting it up. And I was like, I want to try. And I took a bite and then I took another bite because it was so good. Thank you, Ladybug, for giving out 5 memberships. Welcome in, Wolfie. Awesome town. Stop the chat. Stick to facts. Oh, I like that. Stop the capstick. 2 facts. I don't know. Jackson, Maine, and Nicole. And Zaza. You always cut your apples? Me too. I probably should have done that last time, but I'm just hoping they can get this crown up there again. Like she was like pushing it, like with all of her might. I was like, you just push it in there, girl. I should actually show you. I have my teeth, my mold of my teeth. She gave them to me. I had 2 of them. One I accidentally broke, but I can fix it. It just needs glued. But yeah, like it shows my whole mouth. I was like, this is so cool. She's like, you want it? And I'm like, yes. She's like, it's yours. Cause she was leaving, Anika was her name. She left. Thanks, Chatty. I will. I like earlier I felt fine. It's just when I talk a lot, then I can feel it a little bit. Yeah, baby girl. That's how I like I usually do take a lot of extra precautions. I just thought maybe I could eat that steak. I think that's what happened. I was like eating it and like, I don't know. That's one thing I could think of. Or it just came loose. It's not even really loose though. I think I'm okay. Like, but at the same time, I want to make an appointment. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I don't want to spend that money. Like, that's all, gosh. And I wasn't expecting to replace this one, right? I was already expecting to replace 2 other ones. So it's like, you got to stay in there. Like, just hang out. Be cool, Tooth. Be cool. Hey, Debbie. It's been like this for 11 years since they wired my mouth shut. I swear, don't ever break your jaw. Don't ever break your jaw. Let me see if he's on. Looks like they're still offline. But yeah, it's crazy. I had it wired shut for 8 weeks, and I think that's what's doing this to my teeth now. Because I brush my teeth more than like any person on this planet. Probably it's like 4 or 5 times a day. It's probably overly brushing them. Oh, well, that just spun for 20 seconds, didn't do nothing. They should be starting soon. Let's see. Let's see what if Bryan isn't saying anything over here. Usually he's like right there. Let's see what he said. He has said just the 40 minutes ago, final Bryan Kohberger pretrial hearing starts at 9 a.m. Boise time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm about to go through security and go in. That was 40 minutes ago. And then he just put the stream up where you could stream it. I want to know oh, wow. We already got documents. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have reclaim exhibits, state's motion to reclaim exhibits. That sounds like they want to bring something back in. What is this? Coming out of the state of Idaho, permitting the state to reclaim the exhibits in the attached state's exhibit S1 offered or admitted at the grand jury proceedings herein. The state is prepared to substitute a copy, photograph, drawing, or other reproduction of the exhibits if requested by the court. Oh, I guess just to get the evidence back? Or, yeah. And then amended order governing conduct. We already read that, but it's on here for the 14th. And then second motion to seal defendant's proposed jury instruction. Then they sealed it. Order permitting state to reclaim exhibits. So that's saying that they can have it. Order sealing exhibit state S1, state's motion to reclaim. And then they sealed it. So I guess there's nothing new, like nothing big. You know what I mean? It's just sealing and all that. Hey, Nash Native. Oh, thank you, Sweetly Morbid. Yeah, it was a journey. It was a journey, that's for sure. But man, it's been a hell of a journey still. You know what I mean? Life in general is a hell of a journey. But when something like that life altering happens to you, it's just kind of like, wow, makes you appreciate things. But I have noticed, not to complain more, because I just complained about my tooth for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna have to call the doctor. I think my right leg's been hurting when I walk, and it's like in my shin. So I don't know if it's the metal. I'm assuming it's the metal, but is it something that I just kind of deal with? You know what I mean? Like I don't really know what the protocol is for this stuff. Hey, KCG. So I need to call that doctor too. Actually, I have it wrote down. I think yes, I do. What is going on? Where are they at? Where are they at? We're ready to watch. I'll go back over to Twitter, see if there's anything anybody's put. Oh, I guess he did like a little video. This is from yesterday.
Hey guys, so I made it to Idaho. Kind of a crazy day. Our flight was delayed. We almost missed our connection. We had to run, but we made it here to.
Oh, it's pretty quiet, but
Boise for this Kohberger hearing tomorrow. This is the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, where the trial is going to be, where what we think is going to be the last
really
Kohberger pre-trial hearing is going to happen tomorrow. They've still got some big decisions to make in terms of what evidence is going to be allowed, what evidence might not be allowed in terms of surveillance video and phone records and search warrants. Even Bryan Kohberger's term paper could come up. Also, the jury questionnaire, they're still working that out. That could come up at the hearing tomorrow. So some pretty important developments could come. This is Mo. Say hi, Mo.
Oh, there's Mo.
He's working. We're shooting the courthouse.
Do you remember the other night he was talking about Mo? He was like, watch out, Mo. Like when they were in Idaho and they were on the snow. I thought Mo might have been a girl, but I wasn't sure. But he said, be careful, Mo. And I thought that was just so sweet of him to say that, like to look out for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like on camera, he just did it because he's a good person. Like it was just like not scripted. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. I like Brian Enton, but you could barely hear him
today. And so, yeah, the hearing is at 9 a.m. Boise time. So that would be 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.
That courthouse is huge. I knew it was big. It's like 6 stories, 6 floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like the 6 right there. But yeah, it has like 6 floors to it. That's what Steve Goncalves said. I wonder if this will just pop on or if I have to keep refreshing it. I can't remember because I think last time we got in a little late. Okay, Squeaky. Have fun working. I'm gonna I know where they be at. I'm gonna be doing some stuff around here too while we're listening in. I got the dogs in here. They're being really good. I took them on a walk before the live. I was like, y'all ain't getting me. What is it, baby girl, that you have? Oh, 10 unit. I know I should probably get one. I had one and then I think I got rid of it because it was like so old. Like it was just, I mean, it was just old. So I I don't know, I got rid of it. But I probably should get another one. It's like it's where I broke my leg, like one of the worst cuts. I mean, they were all bad, but it was like, I don't know, that's where it like the bone came out of my leg. Like, not to be like graphic, but and that's where it's always kind of hurt on the side there, but I'm noticing it more, So oh, that's pretty cheap. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that because I do need one. I did shock therapy for my legs when I was in the hospital. That way they wouldn't drop. Man, what are they doing? What is Ann late? Is Bryan Kohberger late because he has to put on his street clothes? Hey, Brian, Mimi, she said my phone doesn't ring too much. I know. Come on, Hibbler. Oh, Ashley, I hear you there. But don't go if you don't feel good. Make sure you rest up and everything. You don't want to overdo it. Believe you me, my last show I ever did it. I told Vincent that like yesterday we were in here talking and we were all sitting in here and I was like, I have been with these dogs. Like I left my job and started my boutique in like April 2022 or yeah, 2022. April. Yeah. And I've been with these dogs ever since, ever since. And I'm like, I am like so attached to these little, like these girls and my cat, of course. But I'm like, we're always together. I need to get me some better friends. Just kidding. Just kidding. My girls are great. Yeah, it would be great to see my brother's in clothes. That he'd be like so mad. They had to pluck the eyebrows before court. Yeah, cut him down or something. They look different. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if he's pulling them out or what. They look like something happened here. Oh, look at this. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Oh no, Ashley. Maybe just go like half a day or something. Just work for a little bit. See how you feel. And if you don't feel good, then sit down. Willows. I know. My cat, Rocky, I've had him for I think he's 17 or 18. And like he's been like I consider that cat, I think he's been with me through like 3 lifetimes. Because I've lived, I feel like 3 or 4 lifetimes. You know what I mean? Like these just sections of my life. But he's been there ever since my dad passed away when I was 22. So I'm attached. I love him so much. I will be at Target at like 7 or 8 in the morning, whenever they open, to get him cat treats. If he doesn't have any, he'll look at me. And I'm like, I guess I'm going over. Like, I'll leave the house just to get him some, you know what I mean? Just for him. Make sure I just missed my last year as lupus pain and it was a blood clot. Oh no. Yeah, Nicole, I'm gonna have it checked out. They've done Dopplers on my legs before. Maybe they could do another one. Because I have been sitting more as well. And I know when I was sitting, I wasn't, like when I was sitting a lot, they said that wasn't like good. Like they wanted me to move around, even with like my legs being broke. They wanted me to move around. And like with the walker, they said if I did like 500 steps a day, I didn't have to do my shots. And I'm like, I'm going to do 500 steps a day because I hate those shots. And so I did. I will, Kathy. I'll have it checked out. Yeah, it feels like it's like in the bone, but I will have it checked. And it's just like when I'm walking, like, you know what I mean? When I start to walk the dogs, like when I'm walking for like a while and I wear good shoes like that, wherever they tell me to wear. I've literally even gotten down to the shoes. Like, what do you want me to put on my feet? I'm gonna start doing stuff like that on my other channel too, like little things like helpful hints or tricks when like you have metal or like when you have injuries. I feel like I'd be good at that. All right, court will begin soon. Where are we at? State of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. I should go have a hamburger today. That'd be funny. What if you just got on the IV for like a day? Would that make you feel better and then you could like go back to work? Or are you afraid they're going to leave you in there for a while? And if you vape, take your vape with you. Don't worry if that's like a thing. I know people like get nervous because they don't want to go like at the hospital because they don't like. I mean I'm one of those people. I vape and I'm like, do we have to? But when I was in the hospital, I did it. I did it in my room. I was like, I don't care. I'm broken. What are they going to say to me? I'm broken. And they never said anything, which I didn't do it in front of anybody. But my person that would make my bed for me during the mornings, which I had him stop doing that because I wanted to make it for myself. But it's like to help myself, you know. And he saw it one day and he just like looked at it and he looked at my mom because she was in there and he just put it away like in this little little cubby I had and he just shut the lid and he was just like, I hear it as Kohberger. Me too. Like when I say it, everyone says Kohberger because I put an L in there. I don't know why, but I guess someone said JLR does that too, and I'm like, man. So every once in a while I'll say Kohberger, like where it's like co, and then sometimes I'll say Kohberger. You don't want to stay in the hospital. I can understand that, but they take good care of you while you're there. Forgotten Mountain Time, I think says maybe. Or Ann's in there doing something weird. Or, you know, Bill could be doing something weird. They both could be doing something weird, but I wonder why we're not beginning. Are we waiting on somebody? Like, that's the only thing I could think of. Judge Hippler gets stuck in traffic, which I doubt that. He probably is at the courthouse like an hour or two before court even starts. They're usually there pretty early in the morning. Where I'm from anyway, like where I used to be from. I don't really know the how it works here. I don't even know where our courthouse is. I don't even know if we have a courthouse. I'm not even lying. I don't know where it's at. Hey, Cyber Warrior. Oh, you don't have insurance. Oh man. Yeah, insurance is like, if I didn't have insurance, I don't know what I would do. Begging for a plea deal, yeah. She might be. I think Kohberger works for me. She might be in there trying to get a plea deal right now. Like, hey, don't fry my client. Well, I wouldn't be frying him. Might execute. They'd be firing squad, but I know, Eileen, but the more we're talking about the hospital, the more I want to go. I want to go. It almost sounds like a vacation. I'm not gonna lie. If I could go back to Dodd Hall, like if I could go back to the hospital that like helped me walk and all that stuff, I would go back there and have them do physical therapy on me for another month or something. Heck yeah, I would. They took such good care of me. And I always felt good. Always felt really good. Yeah, the state isn't going to back down from the death penalty. The families want it too. So it's like, you know, that's hard, you know. Not all the families. I don't believe like the Chapins maybe, but I think that they're just kind of like, if that's what he gets, that's what he deserves to get kind of mindset. I don't know. They're confusing sometimes to me. Oh, man. Probably having a little secret meeting. Yeah, we're not invited. I don't like that. We've been waiting here for 22 minutes, Hippler. Where are ya? I'll refresh the page just in case, but I don't think it's going to be the same. Yeah. It should just pop on when it comes on. Wonder what they're talking about. Let's see if they put anything else out here yet. Nope, no more. Just order sealing stuff. I thought we weren't sealing stuff anymore. Like, I thought we were sealing only portions. So it must just be like portions of this. It says amended exhibit list. Exhibit list is sealed. I don't. We need to see that. Yeah, court never starts on time. It never does. When I went for the dog, it was like forever and a day, and everybody in there, no one looked like they should have been going to court. They all looked crazier than hell. Like they looked like they didn't bathe. They looked like, I mean, like their clothes were dirty. Like I'm like looking around, like, where am I? Where am I right now? Because my mom would have beat the crap out of me. If you don't go to the hospital, to court without like looking your finest, because that's when you should be looking your finest. That's what my mom used to say anyway. Oh, off the coast of Alabama. But it's pretty there though, Nicole. In the Twilight Zone. Right, MLE, sorry. Yeah. You should have saw them. It was like crazy. Like, and I'm not like I mean, I don't care about colorful hair, but one lady had like purple hair, but it didn't look good. It was just like really terribly done. And like, oh, it was everybody. I literally was looking around and like, I'm looking around and I'm like, is there one person in here? There was one person. I lied. There was one guy. He was in a suit. There's always that guy that's in a suit that's like overly dressed up for court. It was him. He was fighting like a seatbelt ticket too or something like that. It was such a minor ticket. Bless his heart. And then I got a not guilty verdict. So I was like, go me. It was for my dog, not for me. I didn't do anything. The dog did. She's back behind me sleeping. Same with airport people. Yeah, people wear pajamas everywhere. What is up with that? No way, Jose. I wear like these one-piece outfits. They're like kind of like tight. You know what I mean? There's like that's what I have on right now. And like I would wear this to the airport because I have like something tied around my waist I could put over my like shoulders. But yeah, no. Oh my gosh, I saw a picture the other day. There was a lady at the airport. Her whole ass was hanging out. The whole thing. Big old booty hanging out, just hanging out. And like someone had like posted it on the Twitter and was like, would you say something to her? And I'm like, I think I would. I think if I had a child, especially if there was children around, I definitely would. Because, that's just, but it was like the whole thing was out. And I was just like, what am I seeing right now? People have no chill. Hey, Captain. Welcome on in. Hey, Kaylee. People were sloppy. I was like, did they just roll out of bed and like say, here I am? Oh, I mean, it's crazy. My mom I remember me and my mom had to go to court. I had, it was a clearance charge. Like riding too close, like Bryan Kohberger over here. But I wanted to go into court and, see what it was about. And me and my mom were getting ready to go. And we had two dogs that like loved each other at one point, but then they started fighting. Like we'd have to like separate them. And they somehow got together in the hallway and they got in a fight and we looked we had like dog hair everywhere. And we're like trying to get it with the lint brush because we were wearing all black. I'm like, we look like we're going to a funeral. She's like, well, it kind of is one. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, say goodbye to, my driving privileges. No, just kidding. That doesn't happen with the clearance. Maybe Jared. Is your name really Jared? They were like over some crazy house. Yeah, nobody in there really had a bad charge. Oh, yeah. Okay, Ladybug, you know who it is. Okay. Okay, Lady. You're like, I love that. Oh, and thanks for getting that message last night before I came on live. I saw that you deleted a message and I read it and I was just like, I don't even remember what it said now, but you know how they are. People are. I changed too many tires on the side of the road to wear flip flops. I haven't owned a pair of flip flops in years. I'd say the last time I had a pair of flip flops, like I don't own one pair, not even like a pair to go outside in or nothing. I don't own any flip flops. And I think that was like 4 years ago. Flip flops are terrible for me. I can like trip over you know how like when you're walking fast, sometimes it like slides under like your foot. If I could trip. So I don't wear them, but I do have slides and that I wear around the house. And these things do the same thing. Like I almost kill myself all the time. Like, I mean, I will be flying in the air because like I'll be walking really fast and that happens. And I'm like, great. Jared, do you think he's guilty or not guilty? Kathy, that sounds like me with my mom. I don't know who your daughter is, but bless her heart. I did the same with my mom, but it was throw rugs. My mom used to love throw rugs. That was like her thing. And when I got after my accident, I had a walker and there were like absolutely no throw rugs. She can trip over them. She can get really hurt. So I went to my mom's apartment. I was like, nope, can't have this throw rug, can't have this. And it was funny. Like she didn't have a lot once she downgraded, but she still had some. So I was like, that's funny. Actually, I'm gonna get the rubber Birks this summer. Vincent saw my shoes and he was like, you're wearing these Birks still? And I'm like, yeah, I've had them for like 5 years. Yeah, I've had them for like 4 or 5 years. I have 2 pairs of black ones, a pair of brown ones. And he's like, you wear these outside. So for Vincent to say that, like that is a huge deal because Vincent has been wearing the same shoes. I bought him a pair of shoes for his birthday and he still goes back to his other shoes that are like old. You know what I mean? So for him to say it, I'm like, so I'm going to get some new Birks this month. I'm going to try to get like a pair this month, a pair next month. And then I want to get the summer, like the rubber ones to wear to the pool. And I wear Birkenstocks only because that's what the doctor told me to wear. My foot doctor and my leg doctor. They said that's the best for me for my because I have a high arch. And they're just, I guess, the best shoes to wear. So if you're ever looking for a good shoe, Birkenstocks, it's where it's at. We'll see if they're in there. They're making us wait. Does anybody know why? Let's go to Twitter. Um, 18 minutes. Hearing is running late. I'm lined up in the hallway. That was 18 minutes ago. So I guess there's so many people there, it seems like. We might have a full courtroom. Woo, I'm looking forward to that. I could see him doing that, though, baby girl, in a way. Aurora? No, who was it? Jared needs to take his medicine. I've heard of those. Are they Chaco? Are those the ones that are like hippie sandals? I mean, that's the only way I could put it. Like people that go on trails and are outdoorsy people, I guess. But my friends are all hippies that have them. See, true hippies now.
For both sides, previously identified, are present.
Okay.
We are in the public session now.
Oh my. Okay. Why put him in a white shirt? I don't like him in the white shirt.
I have.
Look at that courtroom, though.
My own agenda for what to cover today in the pre-trial motion, and so I'm not sure what you have. I didn't receive any specific motions to cover today, other than I think the ones previously submitted by defense related to questioning of the jury. As I indicated, I don't intend to discuss in the public forum what specific questions would be asked of potential jurors, because I think that inhibits the ability to get frank and unprepared answers from potential jurors. And so we may have to cover part of that in a session at the end of the day. I think we can talk about it generally without discussing the specifics, but if we need to go there, that's what we will do. Apart from that issue, as what I intend to do is kind of break down the trial process through stages. And as you have issues or questions about whether how to handle something or how the court handles something, that's your opportunity to ask as it relates to that phase of the case. And we'll just sort of proceed in that fashion. So starting with some general issues, I just wanted, and a lot of this is unfortunately going to sound like me simply lecturing about what I want and don't want. And that certainly is a large part of it, because if you know what I expect, I think it makes your job easier. And so I, particularly where I can't recall whether Ms. Massoth has had any trials with me or not, but I know she's been in front of me a few times, but the rest of you have not. And so it's, I think, important that you get that information straight from me rather than from the sources that you may get from asking around. So to start with, I'm not a fan of surprises, as you may have figured out by now. I want to know in advance, as far as possible, when there are issues that need to be addressed. That includes evidentiary issues. So if you know that you're going to object to some line of evidence, or you anticipate that there's going to be objections to a line of evidence, I don't want to wait until that is offered in the middle of trial for a couple of reasons. One, I don't have the opportunity to look at the issue to the degree that I would want to in order to give you the best ruling that I can. And two, it doesn't give you the opportunity to make the best case for me that you can for either excluding or overruling any objection. And perhaps even more important than all of that, from my perspective, is in what is already going to be an quite lengthy trial, it just extends it. And nothing frustrates jurors more than sitting around in the juror room doing nothing while we're in here doing something. And so that helps guard against that and minimize that amount of downtime that we may have. So we'll have periods, as I will explain to you, before court each day and after court each day, where if you are anticipating issues that are coming up, that's the time to talk about that, not in the middle of the trial itself. I did receive the parties' stipulation regarding how to handle the IGG tip, if you will. I'm fine with that proposed instruction, and so that will be given. I think I'd asked you also to work on instruction related to the use of the terms surrounding touch DNA and other variations about that in the event that I decide to correct somebody about the use of that term. As I said, with respect to the professionals in the DNA community itself, I'm not
being there all
going to
day.
prohibit it in the sense that, you know, I'm going to sustain an objection. What I would likely do is to clarify with the jury, if the parties want me to, about that being simply a convenient title and not meaning to imply an actual source of or method of the DNA being present. And so if you haven't worked on that, please do so to get me an instruction you both can live with. Otherwise, I'll end up drafting one myself, and perhaps neither of you want to live with it. So with respect to the model, I think referred to as the dollhouse by Mr. Thompson, has that been produced for the defense?
No,
to
the
inspect?
dollhouse,
It has, Your Honor.
the dollhouse was from Ann. Sorry, Ann said that. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause him.
Courthouse has been for a few weeks, and Mr. Herwood facilitated the defense viewing it yesterday.
Okay.
It is available for the court's inspection well if the court would like to look at it. And just for the record, to the extent that the model was characterized as a dollhouse, I think that was an inappropriate characterization. It is an inappropriate characterization. If I'm responsible for it, I assume responsibility, but that's simply not an appropriate way for it to be described, given what occurred there and the victims.
I think a better term is simply a model,
Yes, sir.
rough model, given that it is admittedly not to scale precisely. So, Ms. Taylor, any record about that? You had a chance to look at it?
Your Honor, we did. We were able to bring 2 experts in for our request yesterday, and we appreciated being accommodated while we were here. We do have a remaining question about where the model house will be stored during the course of trial.
Where are you storing it, on the 3rd floor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it sounds like it's stored with the evidence vault of the prosecutors down there. And so I suppose if she needs to get access, or our experts do, we can arrange for that as well.
I should have asked a better question, Your Honor. When it's brought in
I
as
see.
a demonstrative aid, I am curious about when it's not being used by the prosecutor or the defense and a witness, where it will sit in the courtroom.
I will find some place not in the courtroom, because I don't want it in the courtroom when it's not being used, but nearby in the event that a witness does wish to use it.
Thank you, sir.
Moving right along. Check that off your list. Oh, he did. He looked like he did a little check mark. I think he's just being, yeah, kind of in a way, just like.
The other thing that
She's
I would
asking
point out,
everything.
as it sounds like you've been, at least to some degree, working together, and I appreciate that. As you come to stipulations on agreement on things, it's important that those be reduced to writing for your own protection. Because too often what I see is in the middle of, for example, trial, well, Your Honor, the other side said that they were going to stipulate to that, and then they're not. That leaves me in a difficult position, because I wasn't part of those discussions, right? And so for your own protection, I think it's just important that you get those reduced to writing as much as possible. I did receive the parties' spreadsheets on the exhibits, which we'll go into a little more when we get to the exhibits portion of today's menu. But I appreciate getting that. There's some questions that I had about it generally, and then some more homework to do on it. In terms of the witnesses, I had asked, and I think my law clerk reached out to make sure that we get a description of those witnesses, kind of like if they're, who they work for or where they're from, something that will allow me to categorize those on a juror questionnaire so that they don't just get a list of, 300 names, but can say, all right, these are witnesses, these people live in Pennsylvania. These are witnesses that work for the FBI, these, right? And so that they can put in context those names, which will be result in a more accurate review by them of those names to see if they know anybody. And I'm not sure if that's been accomplished yet or not. And so if you haven't done that, please get that to us as soon as possible so we can incorporate those. I think the state had, and last I heard, but it's been several days, the defense had, we were still waiting for someone from the defense.
And I believe that that's been provided. My hope is that it was sufficient because I think it came back and we re-provided it.
Okay, I'll check.
If it's not sufficient, let us know.
I'll check on a break to see where it's at. All right.
Wake up there, Tippler.
So I did, as I indicated, this
She did
morning,
call it All House,
receive,
yeah.
The defense's proffer.
When the
regarding
prosecution
alternate
talked about it the
perpetrators.
first time.
That will be sealed per.
Kind of rude, you know?
request, I'm assuming per stipulation. And I want some additional information there. What I'd like is by the 23rd, if possible, for the defense to do two things. One, provide me with whatever actual evidence you have that supports those allegations, rather than just allegations. And two, provide for me how it is you believe that what you are offering is admissible. Because it seemed to me much of what you had put in there was fairly potentially fairly objectionable in terms of admissibility. So I would like to see that. And then I would have the state respond by the 6th, which is 2 weeks. And then I would propose a hearing on the 18th.
Oh, another hearing. Shoot, my pen.
Your Honor, on June 18th, Ms. Massoth has a conflict in the morning, but we could do an afternoon hearing on that day.
He did say June. I said May.
Can we do the 20th? The 19th is a holiday and the court is closed. I'm just not sure whether it can be done in a half a day or in the afternoon or not, depending upon where we're at. That's my concern.
What do you got, a vacation plan?
For me personally, the 20th is a little bit of an issue for personal reasons. If we could avoid that date. If we can't, then I guess we can't.
Well, let's, can we start by like noon on the 18th?
12:30 or 1. I'm in federal court.
Right. Let's do 12:30. Are
Oh,
you handling that,
on the
those
18th?
issues?
Alternate perpetrator. I'm, yes, very involved.
Oh, I want to hear about that today.
Let's do 12:30 on the 18th.
Thanks, guys. I don't see the Goncalves there. They might not have went today. So just think about that. All those families are going to be in there. There is not, and then more media is going to fly out. There's not going to be room for
next I want to
YouTubers.
go to juror questionnaire
I
discussion.
just don't see it.
Before I do that, this was that was, as I said, sort of a catch-all category. So I won't ask you if you have questions now, because I suspect it will fit into, if you do, a more specific category, and we can address it at that point. But if you have a question or concern about anything we've talked about thus far, now's your chance.
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, juror questionnaires.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm like over here muted. Okay, so it froze up. Like they did. I'm not like it's not on my side, it's on their side. Yeah, there's Lauren from Hidden True Crime right there. You were right, Squeaky and Lord Mama. Wait, page unresponsive. I guess I'll wait. Watch live hearings. I'll just try to like see if I can go on another page. Okay, here we go. Oops. Let me share this one with you guys. Oh, wait, did it really just do it again?
I think I talked to you about both previously when you were here to visit the facilities. Certainly counsel and the defendant, though it is an administrative proceeding, have the right to be present. But when the questionnaires are administered, but I suggested to you that perhaps your time is better spent in reviewing the questionnaires than watching people fill them out. The process will be such that as we bring groups in to fill those out, those will immediately be scanned and then provided to counsel on a shared drive. And so I guess I wanted to get your feedback on whether I suspect this is a all for one or not proposition.
Thank you, Your Honor. My understanding is we have both agreed that there's no need for counsel from either side to be present during that stage. We'll focus on the tasks at hand.
Okay, very well. Is that accord, Ms. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very well. So as I indicated, you'll be given access via shared drive. You can do two things. One, you could save those over to a copy over to a drive in which you can make edits, or you can print and make hand edits, or you can just keep track by notebook and juror number. If you want to do the printed version, you'll need to bring your own printer and supplies in order to print those off from your war rooms.
You got to bring your own printer. What the? I don't know why I paused that. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause it, but what the
The
heck?
plan will be to take the universe of jurors who are summoned and then scramble them randomly and assign them what we call a scramble number, 1 through 10,000. And then we will bring them in to fill out the questionnaires beginning with 1. So that the questionnaires that you receive first will be the jurors most likely to be in the line of fire, so to speak. Because once we have enough jurors, we'll stop. So that's the plan. Anybody have any concern with that?
No, sir.
No concerns, thank you.
Technically, under the rules, you are entitled to watch the scramble process, which literally involves the jury commissioner hitting a button. I don't know if any of you want to be there for that.
No, thank you.
We'll waive our presence for
All
that,
right.
Your Honor.
Very well.
What you want, kitty?
I do want to stress the
Hey, Jet Set,
security
Jay.
and confidentiality of the juror questionnaires, as I'm sure you're aware pursuant to Rule 23. Those are extraordinary.
I want a portable one.
confidential. The copies that you receive will be.
I can see her walking in with the
maintain a copy,
dolly.
Obviously, for appellate purposes, but copies you receive will be returned. The defendants, they're supposed to be essentially attorney's eyes only. I'm fine if you both agree to allow an investigator to see so that they can be doing, whatever online investigation they feel appropriate as you go along. Doing that in terms of the defendant, his access has to be with attorneys present. In other words, he can't have a copy or whatever to go back with him when he's not with you.
That makes sense, but I have one question for the court. In addition to our investigators, we have 3 that are working on the case. We would request our paralegals be allowed to assist us just with the magnitude of the task. We'd like to have the assistance of our paralegals in organizing and reviewing.
Sure.
And likewise, Judge, we would hope to use our administrative assistants in the process, and they are part of our staff.
Sure, and by court and bar rules, you're responsible for their conduct, and so you'll need to make sure they understand the confidentiality of those questionnaires, and it's really your ticket on the line for their behavior. So that's fine. But I do want to stress that confidentiality because it is part of what I'm giving the jurors on the instructions, is letting them know that there's a very limited number of eyes that will review this and that the public never will. So
What? Oh, the jury stuff? I know we don't get that. We're not privy to grand jury stuff, but is that what he was saying? Hey, princess.
the plan will be to try to process the first questionnaires. As I said, you'll get them each day and go through them. After 3 or 4 days, we will start to have hearings. Those will be sealed hearings because we'll be going over the questionnaires in detail, in which you folks identify the concerns you have with the questionnaire answers, specifically whether there's a motion or agreement to strike a particular juror before we ever have to bring them in based upon the questionnaire answer, right? And the idea is to dismiss those who are unlikely to be put on the jury because of either perceived bias, knowledge of the case, or hardship. And so, I think it helps everybody if we are trying to agree to that as much as possible. It's the reason that we are summoning as many people that we are, is so that we can really cut through the chaff and get to the wheat. Any questions about the juror questionnaire process?
Sir.
So the next topic I have is voir dire, more specifically. Traditionally, the way, as you know, voir dire works in Idaho is the court first does its voir dire, touching on some essentially statutory kinds of bias or knowledge. And then counsel is given that opportunity. And so much of what would be the court's voir dire, I have incorporated into the questionnaire so as to limit my role in actively questioning the jurors or potential jurors. I may follow up on some of the answers given on the questionnaires if I feel there's a need to. But otherwise, the time will be yours. What I intend to do, and I'll get your input on that, is using a model very similar to the model Judge Boyce and I came up with in the Daybell case, bringing in groups of anywhere from 15 to 20 people at a time, having a general session of questioning by the attorneys, approximately 30 minutes aside of those folks, get through challenges for cause or dismissals for hardship, et cetera, of those folks. And then who's ever left over of that group then would be subject to individual questioning by the attorneys. And so the jurors that are left over will be taken to, for example, the jury room and wait in there. And then we'll bring the jurors in one at a time to answer questions from counsel. The goal is, I'm not going to stop you if you're getting important information that needs to be got to. But the idea is after that more group discussion, the individual voir dire will be more for very sensitive topics, also for knowledge they have about the case from media or otherwise, because I don't want them to talk about it in front of other jurors. And then other topics that you sense were too sensitive to talk about in front of the others. Hopefully we can get through each of the individual jurors in 10 to 15 minutes apiece, but we'll play that by ear. We'll see.
Ask a question.
Sure.
So the 10 to 16 people in the general session, is that going to be the court's few questions and then each counsel has general questions? And just to make sure I understand, then whoever's left from there, we pull in and then we talk about case specific information, the media items.
Media items, correct.
Okay. And would you envision that during the time we talk about media items, I can also find out their views on capital punishment?
Yeah, it may be that you are able to talk about that with the larger group to a degree. There may be some who appear sensitive to that and prefer to talk about it outside, and we kind of play it by ear. So it's not a subject I'm going to forbid from being discussed in front of the larger group. And you'll have limited time with the individual. So, you need to balance how you're going to use that time.
We may have to see how it plays out, Your Honor, but in my view, talking about the views on capital punishment is fine in a bigger group. My preference would be to be able to get the media items, people that aren't going to make it, to let them go before we do that. I think it would save time to have them gone before we do the capital punishment views. If we know they're not coming, they're not going to stay because of media coverage and those kind of beliefs and views, it makes more sense to have them go before we start talking about something else. My concern is the amount of time and that the media coverage items might find their way into a discussion of capital punishment.
Well, I will make it clear to the jurors that they're not to discuss anything they may have heard in the media during that general session. And we'll play it by ear. If it's not working, we can change it, right? So let's, and this is very similar to the way Judge Boyce had done it. I think it worked well. They got a jury fairly quickly. Now, as much as the attention was in that case, obviously this one seems to have more publicity. But I think that handling it with first going through the general, because we're going to lose people based on hardship, based on, Have they made up their mind? Yes, right, kind of stuff. And so we don't even need to talk to them. And then we can get into the issues, or they may, simply give a view of capital punishment in that one that it's clear that they're not qualified, either one side of the coin or the other. But if you want to deal more, if they're hedging or you're sensing some concerns, you can use that follow-up time in individual session to follow up on that rather than trying to do that in the public session. Any questions about that, just in terms of how the questioning will go? So my intent in terms of public access to the voir dire process is that during the group session, victims and defendants' family will be present. A small number of public seats will be available. And then it will be streamed to a larger room in the courthouse for anyone else in the public that wants to watch. It will not be broadcast outside of that closed circuit, because then I lose control of the recording in the event that a juror's identity is revealed, and then I get all the internet sleuths out there trying to figure out who everybody is. And I want to protect the jurors' privacy as much as possible in that regard. And so this does allow for a public access is the right, but also allows the court to tightly control that process. And then the individual voir dire will be counsel and the defendant only. And there'll be no stream.
Potential jurors' faces and names obviously won't be broadcast.
Correct. The faces will not be broadcast, and you are to only use their scramble number as their identity throughout this. So they will never, you will never speak their name, nor will I or the court. It'll only be by that scramble number, and the camera view will not show their faces.
The juror number by which we'll name them, will that be on them, or does this court use paddles so that their numbers can be held up when we want
They'll
to
have a
register?
laminated paper, like 8 by 10 paper that has cardstock laminated that has the number on it.
Thank you.
And it'll be the scramble.
Bringing
number,
out the
not
good
their
paper.
original reporting number. My goal is to try to get through 4 panels a day, which may not seem like it's much, but I know from the prior trial that they struggled to get 3 a day. So my goal is to try to get to 4 a day, but I want to get to at least through 3 panel a day. The plan would be is once we get through the number of jurors we need to sit, including alternates and peremptory challenges, plus a few extra in the event something changes before the time we exercise the peremptory challenges. Once we get that number, let's say that number is 50, that's where we would stop and then go to the peremptory challenges. Does that make sense? Any questions about that?
Just to clarify that I understand it, we'll get enough people that we get 50 that have not been challenged for cause and then
That have been
exercise
passed for
peremptories.
cause, correct. So once you get that, if you will, struck panel, then we will exercise the peremptories. With respect to the number of jurors, prior to Friday, I had intended to use 6 alternates, and after Friday, I intend to use 8 alternates for a total of 20. That's about the maximum that I can fit into the jury box that we intend to use. So that number, 20 plus strikes, which would be 12 strikes apiece pursuant to rule, gets us to, I think, 44. And so the plan would be to get, 50 to 55 that have passed for cause to bring back for the peremptory challenges in the event that we lose somebody for some reason in between. questions about that process? Okay. So, and then when we're exercising the challenges, what I do is I give you a time limit geared to the number of peremptories that you have. So here, for example, you have 12 peremptories, give you each 30 minutes to exercise those. And it's a chess clock. So while the paper is with you, your clock is running. And once you hand it to the bailiff, it stops running and the other side starts running. Once you reach your 30 minutes, absent some showing of something happened outside your control, then your peremptories are over. Now, that's usually I give 1 minute per peremptory in the typical trial. I'm giving you far more than that here. It shouldn't take that much time, particularly with the number of people that you have keeping track of everything. If you both pass on a round, or let's say the defense passes at the end of round 4, and then the state passes at the beginning of round 5, that ends the use of peremptory challenges, because you both have said to me, by passing consecutively, there's nobody that you want to strike. So understand that that rule as you go in. After the panel is selected, the jurors and the alternates, which the alternates won't be determined until deliberations, when by lottery, who's ever left will be determined to be the jurors, and the alternates, those who are drawn by lottery to be an alternate. But that group of jurors, and so the 20, will be taken to another location in the courthouse. I will briefly meet with them, simply to introduce to them the people that will be talking to them, which will include the trial court administrator, the jury commissioner, and Judge Cawthon, who will be acting as it relates to this case as the administrative judge during the trial, to help them understand the process that we will use for juror security, for juror privacy, for reporting, and all of that, to answer any questions they have about that process, so they know where to go to ask questions about the process, and sort of, if you will, onboarding them. Counsel won't be at that, nor will I, other than to introduce the people. And then I will leave so that I don't inadvertently hear anything that I shouldn't hear on my own. I want to stress the importance of no contact with the jurors in any way by you, your staff, your witnesses, anybody affiliated with the case. And so they need to be instructed as to that. So if the juror, if you happen to see a juror somewhere else in the courthouse or at the grocery store or at the coffee shop, you're not to even engage in pleasantries. Turn tail and run the other way as fast as you can. If you have any contact with the juror, you need to report it immediately to myself and to opposing counsel, so we can then make any inquiry that we need to. I issued yesterday an order in this case regarding sort of the rules of the road for those attending the trial, as well as an administrative order that I imagine will be on the court's website here, if it's not already, outlining some of that as it relates to outside the courtroom. So my order in this case relates to the courtroom. The order, as I signed as administrative judge, relates to the courthouse at large. Make sure you have reviewed that and make sure your team understand that. There will be portions of the building that will be off limits to the public and to you. So make sure you understand that as well. I think I told you when you were here to look at the facilities, it's important that we know where it is you intend to stay as soon as possible, as well as any witnesses you put up, et cetera, so that to the extent that we ultimately may need to sequester jurors, which once it goes to deliberation, we will have to at a minimum, that we steer you away from whatever series of hotels that we've reserved as potentially available for us to use, that you're not there.
Oh, I've already
So,
reserved the
let
places.
the staff know if you intend to stay at a hotel, if you intend to put witnesses up at a hotel, you intend to have staff stay at a hotel. Let us know where that's going to be. You will each be assigned a conference room outside the courtroom, and you'll be given a key to it that you may lock each day, that nobody, including janitorial staff, will have access to, where you can keep your papers and files if you'd like, or other materials, and use to meet with witnesses, et cetera, as we go along. All right, before we turn to the trial itself, any questions about the jury selection process or the jurors?
No, sir.
No questions, thank you.
So the trial itself, the plan is to go from Monday through Friday with the session with the jury beginning at 8:45 each morning and ending at 3:30. Once we hit a sequestered phase, whether that be, for example, in a penalty phase or earlier in the case, should it become necessary, I will likely extend the hours of the trial to fill up the jurors' days. Part of the reason to give some time at the end of the day is so that they can do the errands of life that they need to do. But if we are hosting them, so to speak, we don't have to worry about that. And I'm sure they'd rather have their day taken up moving forward on the case. So that is the general plan. Counsel and the defendant dressed, ready to go at 8:15 each morning. From 8:15 to 8:45, if there are issues to discuss, that's when we will do them before trial starts. As I encouraged you when I first started this morning about this would be a really good time to discuss anything that you've just uncovered that might be an issue in the case. We will likewise have a period at the end of the day from 3:45 to 4:30-ish to similarly address issues that may be coming up the next day or in the near future. At this time, I do not intend to have trial on October 2nd and 3rd. Because of a previous commitment that I have. I had talked to you before about potentially being gone on the 14th and 15th. As of now, I've been able to make alternate plans. So for now, you should plan on being here for trial on those days. Holidays that I could spot quickly on the calendar include September 1, October 13, and November 11. So those are holidays for which there would be no court, with the exception that if we are sequestered, we may have trial, and we'll address that as we go. Because I can't send jurors home for the holiday, and so we might as well use the time. Any questions about that trial schedule? All right, in terms of special needs that you may have for trial, I'm assuming there is no need for us to have interpreters for any witnesses.
No, sir.
And then technology needs, be sure that you make sure whatever technology you intend to use works in the courtroom in which we will be. The best way to do that is to contact Ms. Barrios, the trial court administrator, and reserve a time to come down and try it out. I also suggest that you use on your team somebody that is far more technologically savvy than certainly I would have been in your shoes. Perhaps you are, but it's important to have your own IT kind of person there to deal with any issues that may come up. If you have litigation presentation software and it's not working, you might get a short recess of a few minutes to work it out. But if it's after that, we're just going to move forward and you'll have to figure out something else to use. So it would behoove you to have staff there that can deal with that. Likewise, in the event that something comes up last minute and there's a need to redact some portion of audio or video or other presentation, that you have somebody there that can do so quickly and knows how to do so quickly. And I would encourage you to plan ahead to have alternate versions of such things so that if there is a concern that's unresolved going into it, you have version A and version B you can use depending upon what the outcome of that may be. Any questions about technology? In terms of what we provide, it will be a overhead, what we call the Elmo device, which is the device where you set a piece of paper down and it projects onto the screen. And then we have a HDMI link for your computer to present whatever you want to from your computer. That's it. That's our technology. So anything beyond that, you'll have to bring. All right. Let's talk about seating in the courtroom, counsel table, and the trial broadcast. Each side, I think when we toured the courtroom, each side will have two counsel table kind of put together, which should give you, depending on how closely you want to sit together, anywhere from 4 to 5, maybe 6 seats at that table to use how you wish for yourself and your staff, and in the defense's case, the defendant. As I also indicated, I would provide a small table behind defense because they're not really as close to the bar as the state would be. A table behind you where you can have staff, 2 to 3 staff members. The state will have some room behind the bar, directly behind them for its staff. What I need from you are numbers. Understanding the space that you have in the well. How many seats do you need? Well, how many seats are you requesting and how many seats do you need are two perhaps different issues, but in terms of requesting, this does not include, for example, the victim's family or the defendant's family, but for staff. So apart from the 2 or 3 seats behind you, I'm assuming that's enough for you. For the state, likewise, 3 seats, 4 seats.
We should be able to make that work, Judge.
In terms of reserve seating for the victims, it will be for those statutory victims that was agreed to by the parties. And for the defense's family, it would be those 4 members that were identified in terms of reserve seating. What I would like to do, though, is I suspect that it's maybe that everybody won't be at trial every day. And so what I would like, excuse me, is for those that have reserved seating, in particular the victims, and I should point out I am going to reserve 2 seats for the 2 surviving roommates who are technically victims of the burglary. I don't know whether they would have any desire to be here. I suspect not, given the way they've been treated in the media. But if they do, that they would have seats available. But anybody who has reserved seats, I'm asking that they notify the trial court administrator what their plans are for each week. So if you tell me you're not going to tell the TCA, I would like to know, for example, we're not going to use 3 of the seats on Tuesday. So that we know, so that we can make those seats available for the lottery system, or it's not technically lottery, it's a first come system on a computerized basis. But if we don't hear from you and you haven't made arrangements, we will assume that you don't intend to be here. So it's important that each week you let the trial court administrator know. She'll give you an email address if you contact her, where you can send an email to tell us whether you'll need all of your seats or not that week, and at which days you won't. That goes for both the victim's family and the defendant's family. Right now, the plan is, and this is subject to change, to have a reserved seating, I don't want to say reserved seat, a seat selection process by which people can go to a website each day and at a certain time, and it's kind of like buying concert tickets, indicate a desire to have a seat, and the first X number that are available that get through will have a seat. It will be necessary to bring identification to show that you are who you are, or are who you say you are, to get into the courtroom. Again, that may be subject to change. I think the intent is for Judge Cawthon to have a town hall meeting with media in June at a date to be determined later, to go over sort of what that process looks like, so so the media is aware, and so that then it gets publicized to the general public that would want to be here. My intent at this point is to allow a stream of the trial proceedings controlled by the court to be run on the court's, where, if anybody's watching today, where it would be today, on the court's broadcast page. The views will include counsel table, the podium, the witness stand, and the bench. There will be no production of the video, meaning there'll be no close-ups and zoom ins and zoom outs and things of that nature. It'll be the static views.
Before the court goes further, when we're talking about the reserved seating for families in the courtroom, if we have some other members of Mr. Kohberger's family that travel and want to attend the trial, can we request an extra seat for a day for them?
Yeah, we probably be able to accommodate a few days here and there, but seating is going to be very limited, right? And so I don't want to extend that beyond the immediate family as a general rule, but if there's a specific day or two where there are going to be a couple other folks in town, talk to the trial court administrator, and she'll see what she can do.
In addition to that, we have one other person on our team that would like to have sit with the victim or with Mr. Kohberger's family. It's not somebody who would testify. So if we could have 5 seats, it's somebody who will just assist them, as the media might try to talk to them
Sure.
a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm assuming the victim witness coordinator will want to be there as well, so.
And Your Honor, as the court is aware, we have, unlike most cases, we have multiple victims here. So we will have multiple victim coordinators to work with separate families. We will coordinate that with Ms. Barrios' office to let her know.
Are you talking about one per family?
Hopefully not like that, but we're
Thank
going to need to split at least, we're going to need to have at least 2 separate groups.
All right, let's try to keep it as limited as we can, just because seats are at a premium, but.
Yes, understood. Your Honor, may I also ask the court in regard to the live stream from the witness stand? I believe that we mentioned this, at least in passing, in our trial brief. State anticipates that we may have witnesses who, for reasons the court articulated about the other 2 victims, surviving victims, that public live stream where their images could be captured and played games with in the media world. Is it possible for the video of that live stream when they testify to be shut off and just have the audio? We also may have a small number of law enforcement witnesses who also do covert work, and broadcasting their images publicly would be desirable. We will advise the court. We've asked the agencies to identify anybody in that capacity and to specify the basis, which we'll bring to the court. I just want to give Your Honor a heads up.
Your Honor, this case is very high profile, and we've had people who have expressed reluctance to talk to us and being willing to testify for similar reasons. And I did have a chance to speak with the state this morning, and we agreed that what we'd do is take a look at our entire witness list and try to figure out people that might be more sensitive to having their video camera on their face while they testify. And we may approach the court with a stipulation for certain numbers of them.
Well, my intent would be with respect to victims, and I've already indicated, I think the 2 roommates are victims. There is a compelling interest to protect them. And so just as typically when media is present, they're not permitted to photograph or video victims that may be in the courtroom. If the victim requests it, their face will not be shown during the broadcast. In terms of those that work covert, I see where the parties land on that. If they weren't covert in this case, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to think about that, and you may have to convince me, because I think there is public interest at play here. And so we'll talk about it.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And as for anyone else, you're going to have to really convince me because of the public's right and their hesitancy can be overborne with a subpoena. And that's what subpoenas are for. So I'm probably disinclined to do that in general for other witnesses. As you can see, I'm even hesitating with people that may have a line of work that is undercover if they weren't undercover in this case. So other folks who may be shy, probably I'm going to have to weigh heavily the public interest there.
Your Honor, I wonder if the same could be accomplished with a room where there could be a feed for certain bits of testimony to a larger group. And it's still a public open courthouse, and live streaming something that gets captured for millions of viewers that lives on for a very long time might be different. And I can work with the state and then give the court a little bit more on that, but off the top of my head, that's what I'm thinking.
It's going to have to be a very compelling reason to do it. So aside from victims, um, you know, while we are open in the sense that the people in the courtroom, the likelihood is we can't fit everybody in there that wants to be in there. And if I start not broadcasting the testimony, the full testimony of people who would otherwise prefer not to, that's going to fill up, that's going to be a large number quickly. And the best way that we have to ensure that the public is accepting of whatever verdict may be reached in this case is for the public to have the ability to see the evidence. So I'm not saying no, I'm just saying you're going to have to really convince me.
Thank you.
All right, any questions about either the seating or broadcasting besides what we've talked about?
No, sir.
All right, let's move to then opening statements. Let me start with what you've probably figured out by now. I am not tolerant of argument during opening statement. So if somebody is arguing and there is an objection, it will be sustained. Please don't do it. What I would like you to do is, by about the time that we're meeting again to select jurors, let me know what you estimate the time you need for your opening is. I will then look at that request and give you a time allotment based on consideration of that request. Each side will be given the same amount of time, and then I will hold you to it. In other words, if you tell me it's going to take an hour, I'm not going to tell you you only have 30 minutes, right? But if you tell me you want 5 hours, I might have some questions about that. But if you tell me you need an hour and I give both sides an hour, in about an hour, you're going to hear me say, counsel, you've got 5 minutes left. Use of exhibits or potential exhibits during opening statement. Because exhibits are not pre-admitted, even if stipulated to, there has to be an agreement to show the exhibit during the opening. Hopefully you both work together knowing what is coming in and isn't coming in, particularly where there's an agreement that something's coming in, other than spite, there's no good reason to not agree to it because the shoe will be on the other foot, so to speak, down the road. So courteous typically pays off with reciprocal courtesy. So work together on that. But technically, if it's not admitted, which nothing is by the time of opening, and there's an objection to using it, I would likely sustain it. For that reason, it's important that you, if you're going to use, for example, like a PowerPoint or something like that, that you share that with the other side at least 72 hours in advance so that they have a chance to review it and then work out any concerns they have and lodge any objections that can't be worked out with me, 48 hours in advance, so that I can then look at it and make a determination. If I haven't given you a ruling by that time and you're coming into openings without yet having a ruling, I suggest you have more than one version ready to go. one that is anticipates the objection being overruled and one that anticipates it being sustained. Let me reiterate again, please do not argue during opening statements or in voir dire, I should mention as well. Make a request at the beginning of your opening to enter the well and it will be granted. However, an invitation and permission to be in the well is not permission to invade the personal space of jurors. So understand that and stay a few feet back, at least from the bar of the jury well. If you are going to use a PowerPoint or some other presentation, you need to choose at the beginning of your presentation whether you want the lights on or off, and they will remain that way throughout your opening rather than turning them on and off again. So I suggest you do a dry run based on what the light looks like at that time to see what that looks like, to see if you want it on or off. Any questions about openings? All right. Next, I have witnesses. Before we do that, let's take a break. We'll take 10 minutes and I'll be back. All right.
All rise.
We're on a break. I had to run the dogs out real quick, so I didn't know. Vincent wrote me and he said, your camera's on, but you're not on there. I was like, I know, I'm busy. I'm taking the dogs out. And I was just in the kitchen, or not the kitchen, the laundry room. I was folding laundry really quick. So I was listening in. The state has feeling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, they'll get paid to be that trial? Oh, wow. Yeah, they're probably there during like Zoom. Yeah, Hippler's going to allow cameras at the trial. Yeah, I think they had retired. Like, I think his mom had retired like prior to his dad retiring. I think they retired before, like before he was arrested. Oh, I'm in the back. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm in the background. Okay, I can hear myself in the background. I should go get that. I had the iPad with me. Hold on a sec. I just shut the door that way. It'll be a little better. Yeah, the sisters lost their jobs. I didn't know if you could hear like an echo because I could hear myself in the background on the iPad. Yeah, both sisters. Yeah. And I don't think that's fair. I really don't think that's fair. What else was I going to say? Oh, I came back up here and to bring the dogs back up, and I was like, "Oh, this would be it's a beautiful day out today." We haven't had like a beautiful day in forever. So this morning this morning when I was walking my dogs, I saw the maintenance guy, that like one of the main guys I'm like comfortable with. And I was like, "Hey," I said, when's that pool opening up?" Because I enjoy the pool. I love going to the pool in the summertime, and I just like going down there and sitting and reading a book and just like enjoying the weather. And so he said, "Oh, today they're gonna like go and inspect it," and I was like, "Oh, cool." So they're inspecting it today, but I wanted to go sit down. We have like these lounge area, and I was gonna go like put on like something like a short version of what I'm wearing, and go down there and sit for a little bit. But I was going to grab my tanning lotion and my like summer stuff out of our shed. There's no way. I don't know where it's at. That thing looks like Tetris or something. I don't know how Vincent got everything in there, but he did. So I might just have to buy new summer stuff because I don't know if we even want to go through all that. Yeah, due to people harassing the sisters, probably. I can still hear myself, but it's weird. Yeah, they didn't do anything wrong. For her sisters to be fired. So let's see. What are they talking about over here? What's Bryan saying? So he said, the trial will go Monday to Friday, 8:45 to 3:30. Expected to go 3 months. In addition to reserved seating for victim's family and Kohberger family, judge says he will reserve 2 seats for the surviving roommates during the trial. Says he's not sure they will want to attend. They might not want to attend. They might just want to do their testimony and get the hell out. Kohberger judge says there will be a website the public can go onto, and the first number that reserves seats each day will get into the trial that day, similar to Lori Vallow. Man, Kohberger judge says he intends to live stream the trial same way it's streamed now. And then the views will be the council table, podium, witness stand, and bench. No close-up, judge says. Defense is asking for other witnesses to also have their faces not shown. Judge will think about it, but doesn't seem inclined. Kohberger prosecutor is asking judge to shut down the video live stream when the surviving roommates testify. Judge agrees. Instead of a victim request it, face will not be shown, audio only. So I guess they're going to shut down the whole live feed when they testify, which can't be too mad about that, you know? I want to hear it. Like, you know, and I want to, sorry, I want to hear, but I not at the expense of, you know what I mean? Like these girls going through more trauma. You know, I think it'd be a lot easier to go in and testify when the cameras are not on you than if the cameras were on you. I know the like button, everyone's been hitting it. I'm liking it. Yeah, we'll see the whole trial. We're going to see the witness stand and everything. We'll see who's on the witness stand and we'll see everything. The only thing we're not going to see is the jury. And then some people that don't want their faces shown, the judge is going to think about that. Yeah, I don't care to see anyone's face. I do want to hear what they have to say, but it looks like that they're going to let them testify and it not be shown. They're just going to shut down the live feed whenever Dylan or Bethany go up to testify. Because it says that judge agreed to that. It says, but then it says audio only, so I don't know. It would be nice to have the audio at least, so we know, we know. Oh, thanks, Shells, for gifting a membership. That was very sweet of you. Thank you. I don't know who got it because I don't have my iPad with me. I wonder if I can look right here. Lisa Rowe Dow Waller Bridge. That's a long name. Welcome in. I wonder how long this proceeding is going to go today. Like, I wonder if it's going to be a long one or if it's going to be a short one, because I thought it was going to be long, but the way that they're doing things, it seems like it might be a little short. But I don't know. They're taking breaks, so who knows? They've been in there for like, how long now? Since 11:22, 11:25 or something, 11:30, we'll say 11:30 they went in. They've only been in there and not even an hour and a half. We're taking a break. We take a break after an hour? Man. Come on, people. Why does it look like, okay, no, they're on a break, but these people must be behind. Is it just us? I'm going to refresh it just in case. Yeah, it says they're on a break. People must be behind us or something, because I'm like looking on the live tab and I see some people are, oh, there we go. Now they're on break. Now they're on break. So they must have just been a little behind us. Let's see. I wonder how long they're going to be on break for. We got everybody streaming this. Okay. Wow. What are you guys saying in the chat? 10 minutes? Okay. Oh, Kathy, I need to get a one-piece bathing suit because I want to start swimming. Well, shit. I have to get a I have to get a cap if I do that. I can't let my hair get wet, which I almost want to take out my extensions because of that reason. Like, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to get my hair wet this summer, I guess. But yeah, I don't know why I can't get my hair wet. I know that it will like mat it, like it'll like tangle it a lot. But if I put conditioner in it, it should be fine. But she was trying to say it would change color. But if it's real hair, it shouldn't change color, right? You know what I mean? Like I get in the pool all the time. My hair don't change color. So I'm going to ask her again because I like to dip my head in the pool. Sometimes it's so hot, you have to. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like that's what I thought. Like if I just braid it or like put it up, you know what I mean? So it should be good, right? Because it's real hair. I think she's just afraid it's going to get really matted, and then I'm going to take a. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Then I'm going to take a brush and like do this to it or something. I'm not going to do that. Oh, the chemicals maybe because I did smell chemically like for a little bit. Vince was like, "Why does your hair smell weird?" I was smelling it, and I'm like, "Whose hair was this before?" But it doesn't smell like that now. Especially since I stopped using heat on it. I can hear myself out there talking. It's so weird. Trying to think of what else would be going on over there. So I didn't even hear them say they were going on break. Did you guys hear why they were going on break? I was taking the dogs out when they actually were talking when they went on break. I'm just wondering. Was it just like a regular break just to go out take a smoke or something? Yes. That's what I don't want to have. Oh, he just said 10-minute break. Oh, wonder why. Wonder why. I'm curious. So I try to do my own nails. I am not a girly girl. I don't know. I don't even know how I got the heatless curl down. Okay. That took me a long time to learn. I'm embarrassed to admit. But yeah, I got like the pink, like paint. I went out and because I wanted to do my nails pink for Maddie May Day. And I literally went out and bought the whole kit because I was like, I'm gonna save money. And I tried to polish them, and I'm just like, I can't stay in the lines. I just can't. So they have clear on them right now, but they're curated, so they're thicker, which I like. But Vincent was like, when you hit 20,000 subscribers, he's like, I'll take you to get your nails done. And I laugh. I think he thinks it's a joke because I can't do my own nails. But I told him, I said, you could probably do them. So I'm going to ask him to do them first. I'm going to be like, you paint, you know. I'm just going to pull mine up and put a cap on it because I want to swim. Like I want to swim in the mornings for exercise and just kick my feet around. It's just really good for your legs, you know, just to kind of move them around. And it's easier in the water. That's why I love the water so much. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that it's like the pool's almost open. I just want to go down there and sit and just listen to the kids play, you know, when summer hits. Like, I love that. I love that. Diane Vincent is a character. He's the best. He really is. It was so funny that he like wrote me earlier. I was getting ready to text him actually. I forget I was going to text him now. Well, shoot. Yours get white? If they go into the water? 45 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I can braid all day. I mean, I can't really braid, but I could twist it and make it like a braid, like a loose braid. And then I don't mind just like pulling it up on the top of my head, but like sometimes it's just really hot and you want to get all the way in the pool, you know? I like that. Shells, I wouldn't hate them. You better go over there and start making friends with them. So you can get in that pool. They'll go on vacation and you'll see shells over there with their pool float. I'm gonna get a pool float this year because I've seen people like we're not supposed to technically have them, but someone always has a pool float down there. I'm about to have a pool float. It's mainly salt. I think like I'm getting grays, but I've been plucking them, which you shouldn't. I know you probably shouldn't do that, but mine are all like right, like on the crown of my head. Like I can't see any right now because I plucked them all probably, but like it started off with like 5, and I would be walking, and Vincent would pull them. Like he's so kind to me. He's so kind to me. He would just like pull it out, and oh, there's like something flying in the air. But yeah, no, I was like, don't do that. It hurts. I know I plucked them, and that's what everyone says. Don't pluck them. I'm just all I need is just like the top of my hair done. Like I don't want to like dye my hair, you know. CPS cameras. That's so funny. Yeah, just go over there. Be like, you'll be okay. They have pool floats for really cheap at Target too. I think they're like $5 or $10. Like, you know what I mean? For like a little like round floaty. Yeah. Well, they told me to wear goggles always when I'm like around water. Like if I'm going to be jumping into water or getting in water, because I guess the pressure, I could see it, like my eye could come out. I mean, that would have to be like a tremendous amount of pressure though for mine, because mine's not like loose or anything. But yeah, they were like they gave me a goggle, and when I say goggle, I mean just one. It was one goggle to go over one eye, and I'm like, who's gonna walk around with one goggle? I'd rather have 2 and look at least normal. You know what I mean? Like not like saying I've got something wrong with my eye, like putting one goggle on it. And I think they wanted me to actually do that when I was in the shower too at first, but I didn't. I think I wore it one time and I was like, this is stupid. Yeah, baby girl, that's what I thought, doing something like that. Yeah, one goggle. They handed it to me. I don't know if I still have it. I got rid of a lot of stuff and I shouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? Like I look back and I'm like, that was funny. I should have kept that. One goggle. But I would do that with the pool floaty and everything. I'm like the pool patrol when I'm down there. I'm like the lifeguard, but I won't jump in and save anybody. You're on your own, but I'll yell at you for running. Don't you run. No running. Just kidding. I should have been a fish too, Kathy. That's what my mom said about herself and me. She's like, we should have been fishes. Maybe she is right now. Maybe she's in the ocean somewhere. Come back as a pretty coral reef or something. But I love the water. I love it so much. I would love to move to like Florida or even California. Don't tell Vincent that. He's probably listening. Because he'll be like, let's go. I'm ready to be somewhere where it's sunny all year round. So, but I think Florida might be too hot, like too humid. A mermaid. Yeah, one goggle. I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? I mean, I haven't jumped in a pool. I don't think I've jumped in. I feel like I've jumped in something once with it, but I just don't really jump into anything. You know what I mean? I just swim. I just get in and kind of, and usually our pool is so cold, like all year, like it to the point where it's not even like it has to be 90 degrees before you jump in it because it's really cold. But like you're just in there and all you do is just stand there because it's like really cold. Oh, I bet that's nice, Felicia. We had the option to do that, like a Lakeview property, and we picked this one. And the one that we live in, the unit we live in, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's back like you can't even see it when you walk in like our building. It's like all the way on the top floor in the back, and it's like in this little cubby hole, like the door is our door. And then when you look outside our balcony, we have like trees, and so it just looks kind of like woodsy, But then if you look over the trees, like, which you can't see in the summer, there's like a hotel there and there's like a bank and all this other stuff. Like, we live like right near town, but it's like, this is just perfect because it's like secluded. And I love that. They do pay good money to do that. My baby girl, my niece started going gray in like her 20, I think she was like 25. She just let it go. And it literally grew in so fast. And she looked so good with it. I mean, she looks so good with it. She has darker skin. I don't know if it's like the darker skin on her. It makes her like, just makes it pop. Vincent's from California. Yeah. He's from LA, outside of LA. And then I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Philadelphia. So like we literally, East Coast and West Coast are very, very different. Very different. He is way more chill, more relaxed, more like going with the flow. Me, I'm like tight. He came out here to go to Ohio State. His brother went there and he wanted to go to Ohio State. And then he met me and then he stayed. And he never ended up going back home. But I think that, I mean, if he ever wanted to, I don't know what's going on with my monitors, but if he ever wanted to go home, we would go, Because I want him to have that time with his mom. We haven't even been out there, and like, we didn't go out there last year. That was the first year in like 4 or 5 years that we didn't go. I need to go. I need to go out there. It is beautiful. And it's so pretty. And where he lives, it's so like, people are just like really nice. And even though it's like California, it's in LA. It's like, I don't know. People are just really nice and they're helpful even. Like, I don't know. But it is a lot busier. I mean, And his mom lives like, I would say maybe like 2 miles from a Target. You wouldn't do well in Cali? I would, I think. You're from the East Coast, but have been in California for 35 years. Aw. There's a house in Orange County. I can't get it out of my head. It's been like 3 years ago. I saw this house. It's not that special, but to me, it's the perfect house. It's like all glass on one side, and you can see like in the living room, it's all glass. I just loved it so much. I'm gonna have to like go back there and find that house and be like, how much you selling this for? Probably 5 or 6 million, but Placerville. I think I've heard of that. Not mountains, backwoods. I'm pretty good at doing like being both. He's from Hacienda Heights. So he like it's a lot of Asian stuff. Like everything is. Like their banks, their grocery. I'm like the minority there, I feel like. Which is funny, because like a lot of people are Asian and then a lot of people are like just Mexican, and they're always selling like beautiful bouquets of flowers like on the side of the road. I'm always like, Vincent, get me some flowers. They're always so kind. They're just out there working their butts off, trying to make a living. Oh, you are getting a divorce, Kathy? You go, girl. Kathy don't take no shit. Maybe you should. I mean, maybe you should. Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe it's like meant to be, it's your new life, your new journey, a start of your new journey. You know what I mean? So I couldn't imagine going through a divorce and all that. Well, I almost can. My parents, they were going to at one point, but they didn't. I want to be left alone. If Vincent and I broke up, I would feel the same way. I don't know what I would do. I would just be like, I wouldn't want to look at another person. I can't believe that, Kathy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, baby girl. I think it'd be fun to move, especially if you don't have anything locking you down. You know what I mean? Like if your kids are grown, whatever, or don't have kids, just, yeah, go with it. I know that when I was younger, when I was like in my 20s, I wanted to move to California so bad because I used to watch The Hills. I think I was like probably like even younger than that, like 18. And I'm like, I want to live in California so bad. It's so pretty. And like everyone's so pretty there and beautiful. And then you get there and everybody looks like people out here. I think anyway. Vincent said there's a difference. I don't see a difference. Everyone's wearing Birkenstocks. Like, I'm like, because he was like, people look different in California. And I'm like, no, they got Birkenstocks on. I wear Birkenstocks. Like I was like naming like weird stuff like that. Live freely, right? You're still really young, Ashley. Spencer was my favorite too because he was so controversial. I watched Laguna Beach too. I loved it. Those were my jams. And I don't ever like watch reality TV. I don't. That's the only thing I watched that was like reality TV. But Laguna Beach was crazy because like there was just so much, I don't know, there was a lot of drama in there. After my daughter turns 18, I'm out of here. Yeah, like I feel like a lot of times that parents don't get to like live, how can I put it? Like they don't get to live like their life all the way through, I feel like, because they stop and they pause their own life for their children, right? Because I mean that's what and that's what, people do. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But it's just like then you kind of lose yourself almost. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like you might feel like you don't know who you are. And so, especially if you get together with someone very young, like when you're very young, like my parents got together, my dad was 19. He didn't live life. Like, so at one point he like almost wanted to go out there and live life. And then I felt bad for my mom. So I'm like, I feel like my mom didn't get to live like her, you know what I mean? Like her life all the way through. So I feel like, once your kids are grown, if you're with somebody, you guys, sell your old house and go get a new house and like something fresh. I don't know. Just do something like different. Do van life or something. I don't know. You move from California to Switzerland? Oh my gosh. Now that's a move. I would be so scared to move to another country just because I don't know any other languages really. But yeah, live it up while you can. I think I do. I think it's stuff like all the time. I want to make like a vision board. I need to write that down to make a vision board. I want to do a vision board for everything that I want to do before I turn like 40. Like, I don't know. I just know there's some things I want to do before I'm 40. And then things I want to do after I'm 40. But, yeah, actually, if you got a van or like if you got a truck or something, even if it was like an old truck, just something that could like, haul your camper and it wouldn't hurt your camper. You can go anywhere you want. I even told Vincent, I was even asking Vincent the other night, I was like, what if we got a camper and lived at like a campground? I know that sounds weird and everything, but there are really nice campgrounds and stuff. And like Ashley, you have like a super nice camper. It's super freaking nice. You know what I mean? Like you can get like a really nice camper. And then if you want to just like travel, you can. I just thought like, I don't know, as much as you pay a month here, and it would save us a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? And then we can save up for like a house or something. Because here it's like we're paying like 2 house payments or something. Like my parents didn't pay a lot on their mortgage, but I know that was back in the day. We're going through a crisis now. Yeah, I'm going to make the vision board. I'm going to put it like right over here or something so I can look at it when I'm in here. Those are nice. Toyotas are really nice. Tundras are nice. I would like to live on the road. Sweetly morbid bear. That's what I'm like. I would want to do that. Oh, actually, yeah, it's plenty enough for you, and it's beautiful. You could put a little family in there. Oh, you heard it's back? Okay, thank you. Let's refresh the page. No? Nothing yet. Oh, it's still refreshing, I think. I think it's like so many people are watching this hearing. I'm gonna try to go to a different page. Okay, here we go.
um,
Thank you,
before
Princess.
about the live streaming and being mindful that witnesses not watch
I didn't know we had to
trial
do that.
when they're outside of the courtroom, just like they couldn't inside of the courtroom. What I want to know is with experts who are allowed to be in the courtroom, can those that are far away watch the live stream version if they can't make it to Idaho?
Mr. Thompson? You have any objection to that?
No, that seems to make sense, Your Honor. And I understood that the court was going to give an admonishment, acknowledgement from witnesses as they appear.
Bailiff, could you provide one of these to each side, please? This is an affidavit that each witness will have to sign, and you hand to me as they are going to the stand when you're called by them, specifically declaring that they have not watched the live stream. This is for witnesses who are excluded or otherwise consumed media about the testimony or evidence presented during the trial. That's not the, I'm not wed to the exact wording. So if you have wording suggestions, I certainly will listen to them, but that is the gist, is that they will provide such an affidavit each as they come to testify. Any concern with that?
Not with the wording at the moment. A question of clarification, though. If the case should reach a phase 2, does this admonition apply to those potential witnesses for phase 2?
So a witness who is only a phase 2 witness
Only a phase 2.
and they attend phase 1. Is that what you're asking?
If they watch or attend any part of phase 1.
Well, the problem with that is that phase 1 is also part of the state's phase 2 evidence.
Can't do that. She's
as is
always
the
confused.
defense's, right?
And I think that would support the need for them to be able to know it if the state's going to rely on things that.
Are you talking about experts?
Experts and possibly lay people too.
Oh, explain to me why lay people should be excluded from it.
I don't think they should be excluded.
So you think they should not be permitted to watch the trial?
I think I've got some double negatives going on. I think that if we get to a phase 2, I don't think that those witnesses have to be excluded from paying attention to phase 1. I think the protection for phase 1.
How about we just don't watch it at all?
Separate than phase 2 because of the rules of evidence that apply to any phase 2, the lack of them that apply to phase 2. And because the state's going to rely on what was in phase 1. So yes, experts and some potential lay witnesses as well.
Mr. Thompson or whoever wants to address this?
Our initial inclination is to leave that to the court's discretion. I think the whole purpose is to avoid prospective witnesses altering their testimony in some fashion based on what they've seen going on in court. That's the danger. I don't know why phase 2 witnesses should be treated any differently than phase 1 witnesses.
Well, what I'm going to do is, I'll give you a chance to each submit something within 7 days in writing on that, and I'll look at it so that you can give me any authority that you might come across related to that issue. Give me a chance to think about it further, and for the two of you to perhaps talk to see if you can understand specifically who you might be thinking of to see if the state has a problem with that. Counsel who calls a witness, unless it's clearly an adverse witness, in which case counsel needs to notify opposing counsel that they have not admonished that witness. But otherwise, counsel is responsible for ensuring witnesses are aware of orders in limine, otherwise clearly off a testimony that is off limits. Make sure they understand, the Rule 615 requirements and the fact that they're going to have to sign an affidavit subject to the penalties of perjury that they have not watched this stuff. So it's your responsibility to make sure that they're aware, because when they don't comply, I'm going to be asking, why did you make them aware? While we were talking about the jury, I failed to give you the juror affirmation that will have to be signed by the jurors each day. Let me give you a copy of that along the same lines. So that is an affidavit each juror will fill out daily, indicating that they have not violated the court's instruction or otherwise been exposed to testimony or information about the case outside of the trial itself. If I exclude evidence and you need to make an offer of proof, the opportunity to do that generally is when the jury, when we're not working with the jury, such as the morning session or the afternoon session, so that you can make that record as best as possible. That can be done typically by simply making an oral reference to what the witness would have testified or what the evidence would have shown had it been admitted. Okay, I think the rules are pretty clear, but some judges may have more leeway than others about objections. Let me explain to you what my expectations are regarding objections. So objections to questions or exhibits should be stated simply and without argument. It should not be a speaking. Objection foundation requires a little more. As you're probably aware, there's case law that is an insufficient objection. You have to identify what is missing from the foundation as part of your objection. If you think that doing so would put information in front of the jury that you're not certain I'm going to allow, please ask to approach. I tend to be a rather quick on rulings, on objections. I've been known to, testimony, objection, overruled, sustained immediately, without even giving you much of a chance to express your concern greater, because I can usually anticipate what the potential issue is and whether or not it's an issue. That said, if you think your ox has been gored and you need to address the issue more, either to have a record or in order to perhaps convince me that I'm maybe looking at it differently than what you anticipated or than I should, please just ask to approach, and then we can have a discussion here at the bench about that. If you need to make a further record for any reason on an objection or in response to an objection, simply ask to approach and we will have that discussion. I'm sure by the end of the trial, we'll have to replace the carpet from the trail leading from council to the bench, but that's fine. As I've shown you before, the court reporter will have a device like this that will allow her to hear through her earphones what we're saying. There will be white noise that's played in the courtroom so the jury and others cannot hear what we're talking about. There will be a physical barrier that blocks most of the view of the jury from what we're talking about at the bench that's rolled out so that they can't see. And we can have fairly fulsome whispered discussions here at the bench about that, whatever the issue may be. I have found in, doing this for far longer than I care to remember that when I send the jury away to hear argument on an objection, what might take 3 minutes to have the argument on takes 12 to 15 minutes to get the jury back again. And then we lose a lot of time throughout the day that way. And so my preference is as much as possible to have those discussions here at the bench. Now, if it's a very significant issue that requires much more legroom, so to speak, to talk about it, then I will chase them out of the room, but I prefer not to handle the more routine stuff. One of the things about, I've had counsel before who confuse the idea of the need to make a record with the need to get my ruling and then offer a rebuttal to it. That is not making a record, that is making a rebuttal. And at least until it goes over to State Street, I get the last word and not you. And so I don't generally afford that opportunity. So if after I rule and you tell me you need to make a record, it truly needs to be a record on something that for some reason you were unable to make when you had the opportunity to do so, and not simply to see what my ruling is and then try to pick it apart.
I think that's directed at Dan.
I will reiterate what I started with is I don't like surprises. If you anticipate an objection or you anticipate objecting to testimony you certainly know is coming, let's talk it over before the witness hits the stand, before the jury's in the box, so that I have as much time as possible to be prepared so I can give you as best a ruling as I can, and so that you can make as best an argument as you can. If you anticipate the potential impeachment of a witness by prior testimony, whether that's grand jury testimony, whether that is transcribed witness interviews, whatever it might be, please get that to me before the witness hits the stand, and preferably towards the start of the trial, so that I have that available so I can have read it before the witness testifies, so that when you then ask to either impeach or to refresh recollection or whatever it might be, I will have read that testimony. Don't be mistaken in your belief that I have all that testimony. If it, for example, happened with Judge, I don't necessarily have all those transcripts, so get them to me. Or if I do, they're in one of 100 boxes somewhere back there.
Your Honor, if they've been supplied with exhibits and the purpose was just for that, will that be enough for the court, or should I have an extra transcript at the start of the day if I think I need it on paper for it?
So let me know as far as advancing possible, and I will have staff look for that. But otherwise, it's probably safest just to provide me an actual copy of it. But while I'm thinking of it, because I'm in my mind envisioning the materials from grand jury that we have here, the state did file a motion to get back its exhibits for use at trial. I assume there's no objection to that.
No objections.
All right. Mr. Thompson, if you may make arrangements with staff here to get those while you're here, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I assume you have replacements you have or will get to me for those.
And actually, we had a procedural question we were going to ask the clerk. I'll ask Your Honor.
Clerk probably knows better than I do, but I'll go ahead and try.
We can do one of two things. We can either get together a set of photographs or copies of the exhibits and exchange those for the exhibits, or take the exhibits, document them, and then give the clerk what we've documented. We're happy to do it either way.
Well, my only fear is that you take the exhibit and then I don't know what the record is of what it actually looked like. Not to suggest that you would be involved in any chicanery and switching something out, but just trying as best I can to preserve that record.
Understood. So we probably will not pick them
Okay.
up on this trip, but we will make arrangements to have that done certainly well before trial.
Very well.
Thank you, sir.
Speaking of chicanery, I'm not fond, and you folks know that by now, of making accusations against opposing counsel that are not well-founded and supported by specific actual evidence. I know that you can get along, but I also know that over the course of a trial, particularly a long one, tension rises. And so I remind you of that to be professional. Don't talk to each other directly when we're in court, right? When the session's going, everything goes through the court as you know, the protocol with courts generally is. Refer to each other by professionally, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Thompson, not by first name while we're on the record. Again, avoid making accusations that you don't have the tickets for, or the receipts for, I should say. And under no circumstances should you make such accusations in front of the jury. It's a long trial, so as much as I want you to be prepared, some flexibility about how witnesses are presented. You may have a local witness and a witness who's flown in that needs to get out again at the end of the day. And so it may be that we need to stop one witness's testimony to get the other witness in and then pick the other one up. As long as there's no clear prejudice from that, I'm generally flexible in allowing that so that we can accommodate that. And I ask you to both be accommodating to each other in that regard. All right, any questions about witnesses' testimony?
Just one, it's kind of a takeoff of what the court just mentioned. We have at least one, maybe a couple law enforcement witnesses in particular who have testimony relevant to different stages of the case. And it's our intent, with the court's permission, to call them at different times instead of trying to figure out how to call them once and have them talk about what's going on at this stage of the case and then what may be happening next week with the case. Is that acceptable to the court?
Well,
We're gonna
let's start
say-
with whether it's acceptable with Ms. Taylor.
Your Honor, I don't know that I have a strong objection or really any business in telling the state how to put on their case. That feels really cumbersome to me. I was hoping for leeway the other way when we would call a witness ourselves, but they're a state's witness. I'd hope to have a little leeway to do all of my examinations so they didn't have to come back. I would otherwise defer to the court.
Certainly, if you're, somebody's on your witness list, if you want to go beyond the scope of direct as part of effectively your case in chief in advance, I don't have a problem with that. And so if it's going to save bringing another witness back, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem if it doesn't get too cumbersome. If, you know, if we're having a law enforcement talk about a broad area of one phase of the investigation at a time, that's probably okay. But, you know, having them come up and narrate between every other witness is probably too much. Then the question becomes is how do we handle cross-examination? And basically I will defer to the defense on that or the other side on that to the extent that we allow, which is, do you want to cross-examine about the information they just presented now? Or do you want to wait until their last presentation and cross-examine about everything? And so that'll be up to you.
Your Honor, with that said, then I guess I'd request that the state let us know when they call a law enforcement that's for a limited purpose right now, but is coming back for another purpose.
Yeah, they need to let me know that as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you don't let them know that, and, you know, well, either way, it's your responsibility to ensure that they're back at some point available to the defense so that they can cross-examine, even if you decide, oh, I don't need them anymore. You know, you better not send them on an airplane somewhere where they're unattainable, because the remedy may be to strike all of their testimony as a starting point.
We would anticipate asking court and counsel if this witness may be excused if we're finished with them. And then I would give Ms. Taylor or other counsel an opportunity to let us know whether they still need that person.
Okay. Likewise, when you look at each other's witness lists, talk with each other and then write it in, get it in writing so we have it as to whether or not, for example, Ms. Taylor will need subpoenas to witnesses you have on your list that they want to also call, or if the other way around, you need subpoenas for their witnesses, or whether they will essentially agree to make them available. Anything else with respect to witnesses before I move to exhibits?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I did require a meet and confer for you to go over exhibits, and I got those, and I appreciate the start that you have on those. There are a number of exhibits where there's appears to be, I can't tell. So for example, there's an objection to, for example, relevance or hearsay. Part of what I wanted to know, though, to start is, regardless of whether it's ultimately admissible for those reasons, is there an objection to authenticity? In other words, I want to make the trial go as quickly as possible, you know, avoid the need to put on a bunch of witnesses simply to say, this is what this is, and they don't really have any substantive discussion about it. They're just authenticating a document that, if we were to be honest, there's no dispute that it is what it is. And so I may have you go back and look at that and add another column to the list, which is objections to authenticity. Now, some of the stuff, key actual evidence items, you know, whether that's DNA or whatever it might be, obviously the defense is entitled to put the state to its burden with respect to chain of custody and all that. So I don't expect that. But on some of the other stuff, you know, certainly to the extent that we can agree that if there's no good faith basis to contest the authenticity, then let's try to do that for everyone's sake. In that vein, I know the state had to withdraw its request to have certain documents self-authenticated to go back and do more work. Where are we at on that?
Ms. Jennings can speak to that, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I believe that we've submitted all of the certificates of authentication for all the exhibits we plan to introduce that way.
Okay. And you submitted those to the defense to review?
Yes.
And Ms. Taylor, are you going to respond to those?
Your Honor, we did. We met with the state last week, I believe, or the week before, and we discussed some of those records. There were some issues with them. Ms. Jennings provided me with a thumb drive, and I don't know if those have corrections on them, but I'll continue to let the state know what we think, if we continue with an objection or if we're satisfied that the rule's been met.
Okay. If you could get with each other and then provide me I didn't study the exhibits that I got a day or two ago, or the spreadsheet that closely, but make sure I'm aware specifically of which exhibits there is no objection to the self-authenticating or otherwise not an objection to authenticity. Doesn't sound like we're going to need a hearing on that, at least for the time being, though.
Not that I'm aware of now, but certainly we'll keep our eye on it. I can alert the court, and if we can squeeze it into June 18th, that's possible. Maybe we
Sure.
can start that at noon.
Okay. And then I would certainly caution, at least because the state goes first for now, I'll say the state, that, belts and suspenders are good ideas when it comes to trial. So I would have my people I need to authenticate things under subpoena, just in case. Especially if they're out-of-state witnesses, because that's not something you can do overnight. So the methods of displaying evidence to the jury, generally there's three ways to do that. One is by putting it on the Elmo and projecting the physical document, whether it's a writing or something else. The other is if it's a writing or something else, using litigation software of some kind to project it through the computer. And the third is passing it through the jury. That last one is the one I want to avoid as much as possible because that just takes too much time. So try to use the other two approaches as much as possible. Now, there are going to be some physical objects that it may be important for the jury to see, and I get that. But in general, photographs, things that are in writing.
They froze up again. What the heck? Oopsie. Whoops. I want to refresh this page, but
On voluminous documents, if possible, try to avoid sending the whole thing back if there's
What? They keep
only a
freezing.
small part of it that's relevant. If that's not possible, let's highlight the parts that are relevant and maybe even explain through the witness whether any of the rest of it is relevant, right? So that they know what to look at. In that same vein, if you have a voluminous exhibit and there are, say, 5 or 6 pages from it that are important, what I might suggest is the exhibit be, exhibit 47, and then you have 47A, 47B, 47C as marked exhibits. They go with 40.
I don't know why they keep freezing up. It's on their end. I have full service. My battery's going dead on my computer. Is it not charging? That's weird. I just realized I was muted. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize I was muted when I was messing with the my battery for my computer. It looks like we're plugged in now. But I have like no battery hardly. 6%. This is a brand new computer. That shouldn't be doing that. You can't hear me? Okay. There we go. It's like when I go to make the page bigger, it does something. I just keep going back to the live hearing and pulling it up. But it seems like it's not coming up now. This is so weird. Yeah, and I was muted. I was like, I'm not muted, but I was muted on my actual thing there. I know some people are behind us in the hearing. I think she might be behind this because I think she's pausing. But you guys can hear me? Okay. This is so weird. Like, News Nation, it says they're on break. That's from forever ago. Hold on. Yeah, court is on break, it says on News Nation. Let's go back. All right, I'm going to play it from here. Doesn't sound very loud. There should be sound. It's just low. I'm going to look for a different channel. Maybe if these is this louder? This one seems a little louder. You guys can't hear the proceedings that I'm playing right now? These? You can't hear that? Because I can hear it fine. That's weird. Like the volume is all the way up. That's weird. Okay. Then can you hear this one? Well, I don't want to stream it if you guys can't hear it. Right? I mean, that's weird. Let me see my iPad. Let me see something. Okay, that's weird. Okay, that's weird. Oh, sorry. I think that hold on. I don't know why you can't hear it. That's so weird. Like, cause I can hear it. Let me stop. Reshare it.
I do want to make sure that things such as the model house that was the subject of a lot of objection, that there's a noted ongoing objection to it. I don't mind anticipating that. And
Now
bringing
you can
that up
hear it.
before trial starts and outside the presence of the jury.
And to be fair, you know, I only have what was proffered, right? And so I had a general proffer.
Yeah, I just had to
of the
reshare it for some
testimony
reason.
that it, as I understand it, that it is consistent with the general layout, but not to scale, and that it would be helpful for the testimony. I don't have a problem with an objection based upon what that proffer is actually at the time. And so I think that's fine. I don't think that there's a need for an ongoing objection once that's done, but that helps.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jury instructions, I provided to you, I think yesterday, maybe pre-proof instructions. Did you get those?
I did not receive those.
Have we not sent those out? All right, I'll send those out probably today or Monday. They're not particularly, I think, controversial. They're pretty stock. On the pre-proof, in a capital case, there's a instruction. Normally what we instruct the jury is don't concern yourself with punishment, the subject of punishment. In a capital case, we are supposed to instruct them under 700B of the capital instructions in the pre-proof phase that it is a capital case, which obviously they're going to know through jury selection. So there's that instruction in there. And what I've done is we're also supposed to instruct them with 700C, which is this is a capital case and you'll have to decide if you find the defendant guilty, what penalty to impose. But then 700C says, instruct them in a separate instruction, don't concern yourself with the subject of penalty or punishment in the guilt phase. I've combined those two things together. So take a look at that. I think it reads better than trying to do two separate, potentially contradictory instructions. I think it does it in a way that makes it more understandable. Other than that, they're very, very stock instructions. If there are other instructions that the parties want to be included in the pre-approved, for example, any stipulations that they want me to advise the jury of, let me know by submitting a request and copying my law clerk on that as well. I think you'll probably get before too long a set of post-proof instructions that are very loose in the sense that obviously I can't anticipate everything. It is based
We
on
got
what I
27
sort of
people in here. We
understand
better get more
now.
people in here.
But it's helpful to have a discussion about that as early as possible so that we're all singing from the same hymnal in terms of what the likely instructions are going to be. And, for better or worse, as you know, the Supreme Court in last year, 2024, revised all their capital instructions. And so in light of that, I will be as much as possible sticking with what they have provided, given that it's clear they've obviously given it recent thought. And so I think that best insulates the case from perceived error by the court is by using instructions they've recently given us. My plan would be if there is a guilty verdict on the any of the counts of murder, would begin the penalty phase as soon thereafter as we can. Certainly probably the next day, unless it's, Friday morning when we get that, then we may not start till Monday or something. But given that the jury will certainly be sequestered during that process, the plan would be to go forward. I also will use as much time as I've told you throughout the day to get that accomplished as we can. If that happens and we are in a penalty phase, and there is a finding of aggravating circumstances, where then the court's discretion about which penalty to impose is pretty limited in terms of my discretion. In fact, i.e. none. It's either life without parole or death, right? In that case, I just want to get, before we get to that, defense's position on sentencing for the burglary charge, if they have concerns about sentencing at that time as well, given that it's probably not even a tail wag on the dog, let alone wagging the dog. So, but I'm not going to make you tell me that now, but I will ask you before the jury goes out what you want to do. I'm going to hand you another piece of paper that I would like to get back from the defense sometime in late June or early July, which is a declaration of last best offer. In other words, identifying whether the defendant received an offer and whether he has accepted, rejected, et cetera, just so that for purposes of post-conviction, we've documented that. Okay. Let the court reporter know whether you're going to want routinely daily transcripts or not. You don't have to tell her now, but
Daily versus real time.
so there's two options. You can have none, both, or all, or either. One is, I think we can set up real time where you get real time at your table for whatever the charge is from the court reporter for that. Also, there's the potential to get transcripts each day. I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. In other words, you could order both.
For separate fees if I want both.
Correct.
Yeah, make that decision.
Yes, not now. You may make that as we get close. And just contact the TCA and she will talk with the court reporters that will be assigned to this to make sure you understand what their structure is, or fee structure.
Thank you.
And we obviously need to know, particularly about the real time in advance, so that we have the technology set up for it. And it may require you to bring some of your own technology in the form of a tablet or a laptop on which it's displayed, right? Because we don't supply the hardware, just the software and the actual reporting. Okay. My plan today, as we sit, is to get through the jury selection. I see where we're at with the intent that we not sequester to start. As I explained this morning, the more people talk to the media and the more things that are in the media that are not admissible, whether true or not, the more difficult it makes things.
Oh, talking about Dateline.
And so I'm going to have to figure that out as we get close. For now, intent is not to do that, but we will have plans in place to revert to that if we have to at any point during the trial. Do either of you want to make a record about sequestration at this point?
I would say the only record right now is that we understand what the court is saying during jury selection. If we still don't know if that could come up, the potential jurors should just be aware that it could come up prior.
It'll be part of the question that the questionnaire, as well as part of the hardship determination is there some reason they would be unable? I get that they wouldn't like to be, but would there be unable? Do they have a sick family member they care for or whatever, where they have to be home, right? So we'll talk to them about that. Anything from you, Counsel, Mr. Thompson, about that?
Not at this point. I understand the court might entertain some things in a closed environment later today, and we do have some sensitive issues to raise at that point.
Okay. That's my list of things. In fact, did I miss anything, Giovanna, that you can think of? All right. That's my list of stuff. And I know this has been a very sort of nuts and bolts kind of lawyer discussion today, but that's generally the nature of pretrials when there aren't contested motions to discuss. And so that's my list. I'm happy to answer any questions about my preferences or how I handle things that I haven't talked about or address anything else that you want to talk about. I know we do need to go to a closed session at some point to talk about what will be asked of the jury specifically. I need to avoid that getting out to potential jurors. So we'll do that in a closed session. But anything else in the public session we need to talk about?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Let me just look at my notes real quick before I dismiss the public, and we probably take a lunch break and then come back and take that up.
Another break.
I do have a copy. I told you there's a new administrative order. I'll give you a copy of that just so you don't have to go dig for that. What's that? You've already given it to him? All right, perfect. Thank you.
Spare that we could have, Your Honor.
Sure.
Oh, it's already at hand. Thank you.
Actually, I have copies of the preliminary instructions for you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
In the closed session this morning, I indicated to you I'm going to be entering an order requiring retention of records by the state, and I'm going to write another one extending that to the defense as it relates to violations of the non-dissemination order. I'm going to give you a copy of what that order is going to look like that I will execute likely over the lunch hour. It does require some action on your part, counsel. And as I indicated, I would be open to a request for a appointment of a special prosecutor. And that special prosecutor to ask for a magistrate inquiry so they have the power of subpoena and the power to question witnesses under oath, as well as the power to grant immunity. So I will be looking for that from you. And that one just deals with the state. I will get you one that deals with your side to preserve records, all right? All right, anything else? All right, thank you. Why don't we come back in about an hour, all right?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off here and then I'll either come back on in an hour when the court proceedings come back on, or I will come back on later tonight and give you guys a rundown because y'all, this hearing is boring, isn't it? Are they going to make this? I mean, are we going to have anything exciting happening today? I mean, it's been kind of it's been a little boring of a hearing. Thank you, Ladybug, for gifting 5 memberships. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Divine, Stella, Kermit, or Cramit, and Claudia and Sue's got them. Yeah, right? I think I could make it more exciting, like, if I came back on the night. Do you know what I mean? And just, like, told you guys kind of, like, what happened. I can listen through it because it's one of those. It's one of those that's pretty boring. So, I'm going to come back on because I want to come on tonight too, with you guys. And if I'm on all day, I think I'll probably be too tired. But if I get off now, then I can get some stuff done around here and then I can come back on this evening and we can talk about whatever they're going to be saying in this stupid proceedings. And then we can go over some other stuff. I wanted to go over, what was it? We watched this video. It's been a few months ago we watched it. But I think it's so good that I think we should rewatch it. It's the University of Idaho killings mapped by a forensic expert, and he maps out like the whole crime, and it'll just give us like visuals and stuff. So that might be nice. So I will come back on. Cram it, yeah. Such tell I know. And you're welcome. And thank you guys for being here. Oh, look, I'm covered up by Ladybug's thing. My face is covered up. I'll just stop the screen. Oh, look, I'm still down there. Oh, now I'm over here. Now I'm up there. Okay. But I'll be on at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on time. I should be. Yeah, I should be. We're eating tonight at home. When we cook at home, it seems like I don't know. And we like just don't, we're not hungry like right away. Or it's either we're starving when he gets home, like I'm hungry, he's hungry, or we're both not hungry until like 8 o'clock. It's like that's not good, that's not healthy. But I'm going to go and I'm going to soak up some sun. I think it's really sunny out. I have this little white chair that it's like hangs from the roof. And I usually will sit out in my chair, but the bird is like right above my head. One of the small birds, the babies, hasn't flown away yet. And the mommy bird came back to try to get it to fly away, but it like was being very stubborn. So it might be just coming to live with us. But it's still up there hanging out. So I'm waiting on it to go. But we do have like a lounge area. I'll have to take pictures, or maybe I'll do a live down there or something. And then you guys can see like the outside. It's nice. It's really nice. And I'm going to ask Vince about my computer because my computer says it's like going dead, but it's plugged in, but it shouldn't be going dead at all because it's like brand new and it's being charged. So that's crazy. But thank you guys for being here. Proud Mimi has been a member for 7 months. Nicole, you became a new member. Lord Mom has been a member for 7 months. Shells has been a member for a month. And Shells gifted a membership. And then our Ladybug gifted 10 memberships today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We got a lot of new members. We'll be doing members only live soon. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, I'll check with them. You have a bird nest on your balcony too? I know. I just can't I can't move it. It's like it's right up on my blinds too, and they're pooping. And I'm like, oh, I have to clean all that. Might as well just get new blinds. Might just get new blinds. I don't know. We've had 2 bird families up there, and I don't know if it's the same pigeons. Like, and they were like Sonny and Cher came back because that was their names. But then we had one up there. Her name was Adele. I named her Adele, and then she had her babies, and that's who's the baby's up there right now. I just haven't named the baby. I'm gonna have to name him. Name him something cute. But thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that this was such a boring hearing. I mean, you know, I thought with this being the last hearing before trial, like, well, now they're gonna have another hearing in June. I thought that, you know, it would be like a little more exciting, but they're going to do alternate suspect July 18th, I think at 12:30. So we'll be watching that for sure. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'll be back on tonight at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see you guys all then. Bye. And before I go, I will, if there's anything that happens, like, you know, during this court hearing, I'll put it on the community tab, and then I'll let you know tonight as well. So you guys will know immediately. All right. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.